upon the edge, woven by a single thread. And fate may fall down upon you, but the devil is knocking right at your door.
But that train keeps a rolling on down to San Antonio. On down to San Antonio. When I was just a baby, my mama told me, son, always be a good boy. Don't ever play with guns.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Fontana, California, here at the Auto Club Speedway, where we're getting ready to bring you the Concord Foods 200 here for HTL. Tonight, alongside me is Carmen, Sienna. I'm Kristina Ryan. Thanks for joining us tonight on your Monday afternoon. 7 and some change remains in pre-qualifying practice. And Carmen, what are we going to be expected from these drivers tonight around a historic super speedway?
It's going to be very different than what we saw in the season finale last season. In the daytime, for the first time in almost 3 years, the track temp's hotter, a little bit more challenging, and these cars want to play around and dance around the track a little bit more than what we saw back in June. These cars are a handful. You're seeing that. Cars are trying to find the line. Obviously, you see how wide this track is. Drivers not comfortable whether you're near the wall or they're on the inside lane. Everyone's a little bit uncomfortable so far, and that's going to be something of interest tonight. Reminds me a lot of the race at Homestead a few weeks ago that turned out to be not that bad in terms of like putting a lot more emphasis on strategy and drivers finding the limits and realizing that you cannot push that hard tonight. It's going to be very much a case of find a line and perfect it here, and those that be able to do that the best, like Swatsworth and Sosi, and right now Eli Sasek, I think will have the most success here this evening. But a lot of tiptoeing is going to happen early on.
Taking a look at last week's winner, Cole Snyder grabbed his first ever checkered flag in the HTL Series at his home track in Pocono, Pennsylvania. It was a fun night for him, not so much for the rest of the field, but making the most of the situation in the DraftKings number 24 and bringing home his first checkered flag. We'll see how the rookie carries that momentum. He currently sits within the top 10 on the pre-quali charts, which is also encouraging, and he seemed to have pace early on this season.
Yeah, Snyder's not done too awful bad here. That 24 car, obviously lucking into Pocono last week. His only top 5 was last week at Pocono. But he's been consistently a top 10 runner. His average finish right now is 9th. So he's not doing that bad. It just right now with that team, with obviously NFG really kind of weakened and under numbers right now. Drivers like Snyder need to really kind of step forward. And 9th right now, right now is fine. But now that he's got a race win, now he knows he's going to be battling for a championship, he needs to show that he's not going to be a round one bump.
Absolutely. He's got a long way to go before the chase starts, so he'll have plenty of time to learn what he needs to do to try and keep himself alive in this championship. Likewise, now looking at the current top of the leaderboard of Shad Swatsworth, looking very strong. He had a really good shot at Pocono last week until the chaos ensued, looking to try and at least keep the speed and the momentum moving in a forward direction. And the number 18 machine hasn't been able to find victory lane yet, but don't expect that to take a whole lot longer.
Yeah, he's looked really good so far tonight. He's sitting in the top 10 in points. I believe he's sitting exactly 10th in points. Has not had a good start of the season. Didn't have a great race at the Daytona Road Course. Didn't have obviously a great race last week either at Pocono. But this season's starting kind of similar to how it started last season for him. He was very under the radar, very much kind of subdued and quiet. He was scoring some stage points. And then it ramped up about fifth race of the season, which is where we're at right now. So Swashworth could really kind of ramp it up. Again, a race win tonight and at a track we already know he's competitive at. Could do wonders, but it's tight at the top because Sosi's up there too. Sasek showing he's got a lot of pace here tonight. Proudfoot's moved up there. Whether or not he can stay up there is going to be interesting. He seems to be boom or bust. But Swathworth 100% can, at the very least, score some very good points and solidify that he is a contender this season.
The man formerly known as the stage racing king of HTL, now becoming a good all-rounder, giving up a little bit of that stage racing prowess to be around a lot more at the end, more than what we're used to seeing with him, and that showed towards the end of last season as well, as you mentioned. Looking at Nathan Lehman in the number 16, filling in for Kyle Taub once again in that KT Designs machine, and Sosi, the Daytona 300 winner, just ahead. Josh Sosi still on a bit of a roll. One of those drivers that was very strong in Pocono, but just wasn't there to get the checkered flag in the end. Really hoping we have a cleaner race this time around. Hopefully that is the case. A much wider track, a lot more predictable, and a lot more opportunity for side-by-side racing without giving the catch fences an old test. So we'll see what's in store. But before we get to that, Carmen, of course, we have a single car qualifying session heading our way in just a couple of minutes. But right before we do that, a brief overview of the racetrack here, which is in its final years in real life usage. In fact, it's already done being used in real life, but we're still running the superior configuration tonight here at the Auto Club Speedway.
Yeah, 2 mile super speedway oval, the site of the fastest closed lap circuit. Speed record, Joe DeFerrin back in 2000 set the speed of 241 miles an hour. That was like the very height of the open wheel racing days right here at this track. 74 degrees the air temp, track temp 82 degrees. This track will get cooler as the race goes on a little bit. This race will run into evening conditions. Very low humidity, but a lot of wind is playing to how difficult these cars have been for drivers so far. You see drivers already on the infield. They've gone to the grass getting loose out of turn 4. Turn 4 will be a trouble spot tonight. Turn 2, less or so, but you'll still see some issues there. But turn 4 will be a significant problem for a lot of cars, similar to what it was at the beginning of the Gen 6 days. Remember the 2013, 2014 races that were pretty tricky on that turn 4 exit. You'll see something similar tonight. Pretty low altitude as far as where this track's located. It's located just outside the LA metro area. So pretty prime real estate as we've seen here. And obviously we know the history around this track. Obviously it's being replaced by Iowa next year for the NASCAR calendar. Massive downgrade, as I think both of us can agree on in the broadcast booth. But we get to enjoy it here tonight, and it should be a lot of fun. 5 different lanes for racing, and you'll see everyone use it at some point tonight.
Absolutely. So with qualifying just a few moments away, we will give you a brief rundown if this is your first time here for the HTL series. Unlike most series on iRacing, where you'll either have a group qualifying session where all cars are on track at once to set lap times, or everybody goes at the same time on their own personal racetrack, we do it much more like real life would. We send each car out one at a time with about 30 seconds in between each, and we get to watch every single driver run one lap on a speedway like this to try and set their lap time. There are some go or go home drivers, but we'll keep you updated on that in a little bit later. It's not quite the situation that it was last week. But yeah, every driver is going to have one lap, and we should be able to watch every driver run that one lap. So keep posted for that. It's coming up right about now.
41 cars setting to take part in tonight's race, so 5 cars will be going home. So a little bit short of the predicted 48 cars that were entered for tonight's race, but 41 is still going to be an interesting challenge, especially at the start of qualifying, where most of the Uncharted cars will be starting at the order.
Absolutely. And as the track is now closed, they're going to sort everybody out, bring everybody to pit road, and we'll see the queue start to form at the tail end and see who the first driver off of pit lane is.
Should be Kevin Feemster.
I think it will be.
He's missed a couple races. He's missed the last couple races. Like, he's done practice and then ended up missing the races, so we'll see if he's actually going to set a qualifying effort, because he has to go first. Looks like Feemster is on pit lane, so...
Sharp, Thompson, Lehman, Eichler, and Feemster all leaving their boxes to line up. You see a little bit of activity on the pit lane, but nobody on the actual racing surface yet. You see them all lining up actually in their pit boxes. Pretty much akin to what they would in real life, which is kind of interesting there.
Yeah, Feemster will be first on the board. Then we will have the 56 and Nathan E-Step, a new team entry there for E-Step, as he continues to run full time. This time, having to qualify his way in. Didn't have the luxury of staying in the chartered number 90 for Deep Racing. Now racing for DCI. He will be second on the qualifying order, and then Ruby Estes after that for Ascent Racing will be third in line.
So they will have to wait for one of the admins to give them the go-ahead. So for now, we sit and wait for some action to happen on track.
Something we saw a lot in Pocono last week. Drivers failing to set a qualifying lap time. You touch the wall or touch the grass, that's your time done. So you got to be very careful in terms of setting your lap time, and we know how difficult these tires are. These cars are on cold tires. It'll be pretty prime real estate if you can set a good lap time without having those tires up to temperature, because you will not have a lot of time to do so.
Especially with a car where this track really doesn't seem to agree with. Likes to have the back end of the car sliding around quite a bit. Causes seems like, especially with the talent level in the field here, a lot of drivers towards the bottom end of the charts really just struggling to turn laps here. It's going to be something to try and keep an eye on, because it will cause quite a few incidents, I have a feeling.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I think that you talk about the seams were very important when ABN Cup Series ran here, when ABN Champ Car ran here, just about when anytime someone runs here, those seams, those rubber seams, have been pretty pivotal, and I don't think tonight's going to be any exception to that.
No, absolutely not. But it looks like Kevin Feemster will be the first one to find out, as he's just gotten the go-ahead from race control to finally get us underway for qualifying. You can see, talking about tire temps being important, he is wiggling around the front of that machine to try and get as much temp as he can in already. So, gonna be a theme for qualifying here. He'll be the first one to go, and then said what, 44 others gonna go, or excuse me, 40 others gonna go. So I was doing my math off of 43, not 36. So we'll see what he's got as he heads down out of turn 4, trying to keep the back end underneath him, and he'll see the green flag for his first lap.
You see he's already fighting that back end a little bit.
Running the outside lane in turn 1 and 2. Gonna see a lot of movement around the track, a lot of drivers trying different lanes here to try and get different bits of momentum built up. Feemster's gonna commit to the top.
As a notable omission from the entry list, Caitlin Height.
Of course, doesn't need to be here since she's already locked in.
Yep, one home
So, yep, after winning there. Definitely takes a lot of the prowess away from real life racing, but that's one of the nice things about sim racing with a chase like that. You don't have to devote your whole life to the series to still have a shot to win the championship.
Watching E-Step on track right now. Estes just got on track. Ruby Estes making her debut. Talks about her and countdown to green. We'll see what E-Step can run here.
Yes,
Press
this
the
is
benchmark.
E-Step does go faster than Feemster. Now Estes in the 97 machine. adding more to the social media prowess of Ascent Racing's marketing, having yet another driver on the roster now.
Yes, this typically races in the OSRL short track stuff.
Has had a few starts in ABN competition.
Yeah, back in Avian Champ Car. Yeah.
Also does a lot, or did a lot in the last year or two in the NR 2003 community still, which is continuing the kick. Runs second of 3 fastest. Jacob Shangle, number 52.
Shangle, then I believe Eichler will be next up on the list of cars that need to go out and qualify. Now Eichler is coming out on track, so I believe that is correct. See what Shangle can do. Missed the Daytona 300 at the beginning of the season. Trying to make his way in here.
Really
And
fighting that tail end into turn 3.
He was fighting that on entry too, like that, and,
And on
exit.
exit. Does a nice job to hang on to it, but this is not going to be a very good lap. But it will be a lap, which is going to be important. Should be the slowest of all, and it is by quite some margin. And Eichler just hit the wall coming to the line there. I'm not sure if that's going to invalidate their lap. We'll see. James Wright up to bat after.
There. Not running too bad there on the in 1 and 2. Kept it really well in that middle lane. Didn't run over the groove or run over the seams until the exit. Kept the car stable. See if you can do the same thing here. Down to the bottom.
Yeah, kind of a late apex. Works out nicely, but just gets up against that wall very nicely there, not to hit it that time. Yeah. As long as that tap that they had before they took the flag didn't ruin the lap, it should be a decent one, and it will be 4th fastest.
That looked a lot quicker than it ended up being. That's interesting.
For Eichler, though, that's not too bad. That is pretty good for the standards that Caleb's been having in the previous races. So definitely a bit of improvement out of the 45 camp. I'm not sure if it'll be enough to make the show, but here's James Wright, team owner for Stepping Stone Motorsports. One of the many owner drivers.
Folks that James Wright had back in Daytona made the field through the duels, raced his way in.
Had a really good chance to win the 300 as well.
Yeah. Where does he go? He goes 5th fastest.
John Smeal next in the 38 machine. And then I believe Bia Constantinu is next.
Believe so. I'll check here. You would be correct on that.
Neil making his way into turn 3 right now. Nothing too crazy there. See what lap it is. Nice and tidy for the 38 machine, and it's going to go second fastest so far.
There you go.
Very nice lap.
Can do. Now we're starting to get into some of the faster cars that were in practice. Constantine was in the top 10 there at the end of practice. So we'll see what she can do.
Yeah, Oval's really the only thing that she isn't lethal on. But even then, she's still very good. We've seen her car control time and time again already this season. Definitely one of the dark horse picks when she does make the field. The young Romanian makes her way out of the final corner now, and we'll see where that 57 machine goes for Stepping Stone. And it'll be Ruby Acosta next in the 66 this weekend. And Constantinu goes second fastest.
Not a bad run.
Not at all. Here's Ruby Acosta filling in the, well, it's a shared seat, but believe this is going to be her second start. It's her home track of sorts. She's been here many times in real life, so no surprise that she'd want to go for it here tonight in the 66. We're usually used to seeing Callie Height in that car. Ruby's other start was in the 31 machine, actually, at Daytona Roval, where she had a very good run going up until a mistake that took her out. Trying to make the field tonight. And a pretty solid lap for her. She'll go 5th fastest. Beth Wansing up now in the 0 machine. Nancy up to bat after him.
I'm correct, because Nancy's going to be the first chartered car to set up time. Lowest 5 uncharted cars do not make the field, and there's still some uncharted cars that need to qualify. After Wansing, the uncharted cars, Jonathan Adams, who was behind Poznanski in the qualifying order. You got Blowers in the 91, who was fast in practice, Blake Galloway, and then Brandon Proudfoot.
And Wansing goes fastest so far by almost a full 10th over Eastup.
Importantly, Poznanski just hit the wall on his warm-up lap.
See how much damage
and
that's
he's damaged
done.
the car.
I don't see too much damage, just a little scrape, but we'll see how much it affects them. Obviously, you can't back out and abandon your lap. He's leaving a lot of gap to the wall there. I think he might either be struggling with the handling or just trying not to hit the wall again now that it actually counts. Looks like struggling a bit with the nose there, but not sure how hard he's trying to push. We know Poznanski's got speed. When he does make the show, it's just about making it. And across the line, it's going to be 8th fastest, so not bad given that he smacked the wall, but I don't know that that's going to be enough. John Adams now in the Caterpillar Mustang. Had a great run going at Pocono. It was one of the first cars out. They're getting hip checked early on.
Yeah.
Trying to rebound today. Cross the line for the 76 machine. It's going to be fastest of all so far. So welcome back onto the grid. It's DJ Anderson now. Driver we haven't seen in a couple of rounds. Good to see him back on the grid tonight. See what he can do. Ooh, loses it and hits the wall hard out of turn 4.
Pushing is a little too hard. Said turn 4 is going to be a trouble corner, and that's indeed what we're seeing right now for the first time this time.
Yeah, he's very nearly gone upside down there. If you saw that digging into the grass, it really wanted to do some things. So this is going to hurt Ryan Moutre, I think. We'll see if he calls off that lap. I don't think he lifted, but we'll see what happens to the 44 machine. Lehman would be up next in the 16.
No Chris Pendell. Chris Pendell would be expected to be in that. So it looks like Pendell's forfeited his qualifying run. So Pendell volunteering to start at the back of the field. Probably going to have a lot of company.
Moutre's lap will count. And it will be 6th fastest, so that's not too bad for a car being wrecked in your windshield coming to the green flag.
Benefit not lifting.
Yep. Lehman comes out of turn number 4 now, and he will also lose the back end, but I think he might get away with that one. It's going to be a slow lap, but it still should count. 9th fastest. So really had a really nice lap going up until that mistake, honestly. Here's somebody who I haven't talked about in about 2 months because we haven't seen him since Daytona. Zachary Meredith, defending season champ. For those reasons, I had some pretty fond memories at this track last time out.
And I believe up next would be Chad Swadsworth after him. So now we're finding some heavy hitters here.
About nearing the halfway point of drivers that have qualified, so shooting right along. A little twitchy there for Meredith at the apron, especially. It's only going to be 7th fastest, but not too bad for his first race back in a while. Here's Chad Swadsworth, I think someone who will have a good opportunity for pole position today. Yeah, he pins it right down there.
Pretty well hooked up right now. It looks really good.
Trouble spot's been out of turn number 4 though, so we'll see if he can hang on to that. But yeah, as you said, to your point, Carmen, very pointed, very stable, looking very quick. Maybe gonna lose a little bit of time going a bit wide there out of 4. Either got all the track or had to crack just a little bit. It's not enough for pole, but it will be front row tentatively. Very solid lap for Swadsworth. Now it's Bobby Blowers and another one of the Ascent Racing machines.
This is an uncharted car too, so he has to qualify well. He cannot put. I know he wants to go for pole, but he cannot put too much on the line and risk invalidating his lap time. He's got to be safe, and that's something that some of these uncharted cars have trouble sort of differentiating. Sometimes they cross that line. We saw that last week at Pocono. Pocono, a big example of that. And Flowers looking good on this lap. Can he hold on to it though? A little bit of latency there.
Yeah, just a touch, but he should be okay. He's going to just about get away with it out of turn 4. We'll see if it's going to be enough to leap some of the other non-charters. It will. P2 will knock Swadsworth off the front row and pretty well punch his ticket into the show.
He's safe, by far safe.
John Hagan now. Gaming up next after him. Both of these two had a really good chance to win Pocono, ended up having miserable days. That's how they find each other with some close company for qualifying here. Hagan across the line. And it'll be provisional pole. Nice little lap there from Hagan in the 64. See if Gaiman has a response in the 61 machine.
This will be an interesting qualifying run by Gaiman. See if he can get to the front of the field. Whirlwind week or so for Gaiman.
He does. Provisional pole yet again now changes hands.
I think the track's getting pretty good right now. Withers up next in a chartered car.
I think
New
he's
experience for him this season.
I think he's in a chartered car since he's filling in for
Yeah, he's friends with
Donaldson.
yeah.
So his driver card will say number 6, but he is that was the car he ran when he was unchartered, but now filling in for Donaldson as a part of the musical chairs that does end up being an HTL mid-season.
Not a bad run so far. It's not looking bad at all.
No, he's a very solid driver. He's put in a lot of solid runs. Of course, he won his duel, or excuse me, qualified on the front row.
He won his duel in ABN.
Yeah.
Not wrong on that one.
He ends up being the slowest of all so far, but he doesn't have to worry too much because he's not going home being in that number 22 car's charter today. Apperson in the 4.
Yeah, another Tombstone car right now. Tombstone's been largely disappointing this season. All the drivers on that team full time, Donaldson, Moutre, Henderson, Apperson, have set their worst career finishes in these opening 4 races. They need to get together quickly.
Well,
And that turnaround, I think, has to start now.
or just find a victory lane at one point in the season.
That'd be cool, but they have a winless streak that goes back over a year.
Absolutely. That means they're overdue. We've seen them get close too, so I don't have too much worry that one of them will get a checkered flag. Apperson goes 11th fastest now. Here's Kevin Gibney Jr.
Gibney, one of the slower drivers in pre-qualifying practice, so we'll see what he can pull here, but his team has looked phenomenal. It's been some more than the parts for that team. Brand new team, Lady Liberty Motorsports. Sosie's let the world on fire. Connor Morris has been impressive. We know Peltier Sharp can wheel it at times.
Gibney's had his moments as well. He was very quick at Pocono, so.
Absolutely. We know this team can put it together, and it is a really good chance that all 4 of those cars could make it into the playoffs. They just have to get a little bit more put together. And there's a good stretch coming up for that team. Gibney coming across the line to set a lap time. What will it be? Doesn't look like it's going to be best.
But it's good enough for 16th. Good middle of the road. Here's Blake Henderson. Talked about Tombstone.
Bringing out the Blankenship Freight, that little throwback.
Absolutely. Part of a series of Dale Jr. inspired schemes we're going to be seeing from him all season.
Absolutely. He was quick here in the season finale last season.
Absolutely.
Trying to get everything back on track here. We'll see what he can do. He's running the top lane.
But he looks really quick up there, too. He seems like he's got it dialed in. See if it's going to work. This is going to be interesting because this was a really solid lap on the top, Carmen. I'm wondering how that's going to stack up.
Find out here pretty quickly.
17th, so it's not quite as quick, but
I figured the outside lane was not going to be the line to run for Paul.
I agree, but
I think Henderson was going for a safe lap instead, yeah.
yeah, I agree, but the way that he hooked it up out there, I mean, that's probably about as fast as you're going to get that outside to work for you on cold tires. He had a really nice run, all things considered. The lap time won't show it, of course, but to run the lane he did, not too bad.
Up next, Jake Millsap. His teammate won last week. Put that team on the board. See what Millsap can do. Millsap was also pretty quick last week at Pocono as well when we had green flag laps in.
Yes, he was.
He was quick at Homestead, too. So he's got pace in that 13 car.
Seems to be fighting with the tail end just a little bit, but let's see if he's got it reined in enough for a decent lap. If it'll count there, a little bit of latency, it's only going to be enough for 20th, so the handling is looking a bit poor to start. Here's Connor Morse in the number 3 machine, youngest driver in HTL, and the first one to strike this year in New Smyrna, winning the charity event down there. I think officially it was what, race 0A of however many there were this season.
Yeah, because you had the shootout, you had the charity race, you have the duels. All that leads up to the 300. So
which was
the
one. Yeah, I think it was 1C actually was Daytona. So But now we're finally counting by numbers and not letters, so.
Yeah, get the algebra out of here.
Yeah.
See what kind of more sets here. Number 3 car looked pretty quick, and
P7.
it will be quick.
Very solid lap.
Just a 10th off a pole. Not a bad run at all. Dylan McDonald up next.
Beautiful livery on that 96.
Glad to have him back.
See what he can do in the gold and white machine. Jimmy Strong down the side on that car. I believe it was Blowers that was filling in for him the last couple of weeks.
Last week, yeah. Reynolds fit in for him, I believe.
Yeah, was it Reynolds the week before?
I believe so, yeah. McDonald back.
Final 4 driver last year. Oof.
Looked really loose there out of 4, though.
Yeah, he
See
laid
if it
down
works.
some tire tracks.
Is loose fast enough?
Not too slow.
Haven't.
Yeah, you could see him lay the tire tracks down when he came out of the corner, so all things considered, not too shabby. Especially for a guy who's been gone for a little bit. Good to see him back. He's back in the top 10. Reigning race winner here, Hunter Peach, got his first career win. Last time out.
He looks hooked up, too. Didn't do much of practice, came in late. But that turn 1 and 2 looked outstanding.
Let's see if it holds up. Tidy 3 and 4, but was it too tidy is going to be the question.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of looser cars have been in.
It was like a pretty solid lap, and it will be indeed 9th place. Lilac Zier up next, still carrying the momentum from her late summer, what do we call it, the late summer surge of Lilac Zier.
Yeah, race wins in the ABN Cups, or ABN Champ Car World Series, the RX Saturday Night Showdown Series. She's been pretty electric the last couple weeks.
Running quite well in Winstall last night as well until an issue befell her, but qualified inside the top 10, I think inside the top 5 actually, in a very stacked field, so the momentum has yet to run out.
She's showing a little bit more confidence on track, too. A little bit more poise.
Well, wouldn't you if you were picking up top 5s and wins everywhere?
Well, you can be picking up top 5s and wins and still be a nervous wreck. Me and you both know that.
Yeah, that's fair. 14th for her to start.
Yeah, it looked a little bit too tight. It looks like she was a little bit too tight out of 1 and 2, though. So I think that kind of cost her a little bit of that time. Boone up next, and then Pelletier Sharp after that.
And hey, what do you mean nervous wreck? At least I grew out of that. You do it enough and you start to get used to it.
I'm glad one of us have. I have.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. When you're on a stage in Vegas and do it, you kind of don't get scared anymore about the rest of it.
Right. Matthew Boone coming to finish his lap at a turn 4. See what the Unforgiven Motorsports driver can do. Car 28 on the apron and across the line.
Not
13th.
too bad. 13th. It looked like he was a little tight out of 4. You could see the car scooted up just a touch, but I don't know. It's hard to tell if they're losing grip on purpose or or on accident, or the car is just kind of tracking out. It looks about the same. The only way to really know the difference is if they're cracking the throttle or if they've got it pinned, and we can't really hear it from our camera angles. So keep an eye on that. Here's Pelletier Sharp in the 8, one of the other Lady Liberty drivers.
So to qualify was the best finishing driver, I believe, behind Sosi last week. Sosi is going to be one of the last ones to qualify, period.
Let's see what the Lady of Lady Liberty can do. She comes out of turn number 4, gets it pinned down on the apron and across the line for the number 8 machine. What's it going to be? B14.
I think the track's starting to fall away because we're seeing a lot of drivers sliding right into that pocket.
Well, it could be that the rubber's getting put down too, of course. When they're sliding like they are putting down tire tracks. That builds up rubber, could affect how the cars handle as well. So another thing to keep in mind. Here's Jeremy Breo, who was pole sitter last week. That's about all he'd want to talk about from what happened last week. Took him, what, almost the whole race to lead a lap after his pole position, and that was right before all heck broke loose. If he's going to want to lead any laps, he'll have to do it from 15th at best today, but solid qualifying run from the 88 machine. Here's William Britton, number 64.
33, so I'm not sure what's going on with that, but Britain is in a qualified ride tonight. He's in a chartered ride, I should say, tonight, so should be a little bit easier for that team going forward.
Played a little strategy, led some laps last week, as we know he tends to do. Oh, and he just brushes the wall there. We'll see if he gets away. Yeah, we'll see if he gets away with that, because it didn't look too hard, but and it wasn't. He will go 20th fastest, so little wall tap goes a long way for the number 33/64, and he'll get a top 20 qualifying time. Alfred Denny up now in the 21.
Alfred Denny, we're starting to get some of the drivers that had really good runs at Pocono last week. We're in the right place at the right time.
And
left to run.
Yeah, I'm now seeing Katie Height is on the leaderboard, but she will not be qualifying from what it looks like. So I think she missed Q, but will be able to start the race in the 11 car. Unless they let her go last since she wasn't here, but I don't know if they'll do that.
I don't think
they do.
She had to qualify at the start.
Yeah. Alfred Denny goes 30th fastest. Lena Thompson up next in the number 10 machine. And then it'll be Elias Flores. So a couple of Ascent cars coming up. I'd say they technically have 5 here now, don't they?
Yeah, I think tonight they have 5.
Because they have Thompson, the 9, the 99, the Project 91 car, as Thompson goes 20th fastest, and then they have the bonus car now of Ruby Estes. So, in the what was it, the 97? 97. So
yeah, that's the 97. Yeah. The entry list has expanded from 41 to 44.
means some more people going home.
This is at least 8 cars going home now.
That's a bummer too. Those last second entries, you think you're in the show, and then charters show up. I think that's why some people think charters are not ideal. Not to mention the musical chairs that happens and all of that. Flores letting it all hang out. Let's see what he can do. It was impressive. Was it fast? Yeah, not too bad. 17th fastest. Jumps over his teammate. Angel Santiago up now in the 90 car. And with that said, with those charters, I think that is going to knock out Ruby Acosta from her home race, which is going to be unfortunate.
Yeah, looking at the drivers that are currently out, Shango's out, Wright is out, Eichler would be out, Feemster's out, I believe Acosta would be out. Again, I'm not sure. It's hard to tell how many of the uncharted cars are completely out because I don't know how many charters are in.
Yeah,
right.
That's what the pain of it is now, is that everybody's just got to sit around and kick stones while we figure out how many people are actually racing tonight.
Yeah, Profit's the last uncharted car to qualify.
And I would assume he will jump most of the field here, barring a big mistake. He's quite quick. Santiago only goes 35th fastest. Beats only Tommy Withers.
Proudfoot he looked fast in practice at Homestead and failed to qualify and missed by a large margin. So it's not a guarantee by any stretch of the imagination.
Fair enough. Performed exceptionally well at Pocono, though, and I feel like that's a little more adept to... I feel like this track, perhaps, as well, is a little more adept to his driving style, but we'll see. Only time will tell. Josh Arnold, number 55, had a good run going last week as well until that got derailed. You're wondering why we're saying so many times, had a good run going until. We gently but not so enthusiastically encourage you to take a look at the highlights from last week, and I think that'll say all it needs to be said.
Or don't.
Or don't.
blame it.
Nothing of value would be missed. And no, before you say anything, it wasn't Pocono's fault. We did it all ourselves last week.
Josh Arnold, see what he can run qualifying wise.
25th, not too bad. Here's Sosi.
Oh, Sosi's up next, and then Sasic behind him.
Mm-hmm. And then I believe after that's Proudfoot.
For everyone tuning in, I want to say thank you to everyone spending your time with us here on ABN Esports 1. Fifth race of the HTL Cup Series season, qualifying underway right now for the Concord Foods 200. Right now, Josh Sosi on track. Eli Sasic behind him.
Then it'll be Brandon Proudfoot. And then Cole Snyder. Sosi at the line, 21st fastest. One of his worst qualifying runs this year, actually. Here's Sasic in a new paint. The last of the Ascent drivers to go, all 5 of them. And don't tell me I've got this. I've got this one. Is it the Dodgers?
You're in the right league, Detroit Tigers.
Oh. I saw the D.
They're as winless as Sasic is in HTL.
Oof. Unfortunate.
I made the joke in Countdown to Green. It was a good one.
Oh.
I know he won't watch Countdown to Green, but he'll watch this one.
Hey, at least I got baseball. We're getting halfway there.
You're learning. I saw you were commenting about the Chiefs and Raiders thing on Twitter earlier. So.
Yeah.
You're learning.
I witnessed a BS ejection, so I think I understand the NFL now. They just do stuff to do stuff, apparently. Now I know what all the now I know what all the cute boys in the bar are talking about when they're complaining about NFL officiating. I get it now.
Right. Brandon Proudfoot on track now, and then Cole Snyder will be last one to set a qualifying time.
Which means Pendel and Height will not set times, and Anderson is going to be the only one to have failed to set a lap due to hitting the wall. He had a pretty hard whack for those. By the way, Sasic was 27th fastest in the number 9 machine. And this is an important lap for Proudfoot because this is either going to make or break his presence on the grid, and he only goes 32nd fastest, so he's out of the show.
Wow.
Big mistake there. And is that going to give Acosta room to breathe, or is it?
I don't think so. We'll have to double check her because 8 cars go home.
Oh, 8 go home now. Yeah, no, that's gonna, yeah.
Because it's Schenkel, Wright, Eichler, Proudfoot, Feemster, Acosta, Estes, all out.
Yeah, that's right. I thought it was the only 5. The update is what's gonna stick a fork in the rest of them.
Yeah.
Gosh, that's gotta suck too if you're one of those 3 that were in and now you're not.
If I'm correct, the highest unchartered car that is out of this race would be, I believe, Smeal in 12th.
Oh wow.
I believe Acosta in 11th is the last one in. If my math's correct, we'll have to wait for confirmation on that. But I believe Acosta is the last one in. Not Acosta, but Constantine is the last one in.
Constantine, yeah. Because Acosta was down near the 20s, the late teens.
The uncharted Jonathan Adams, Bobby Blowers, they're in. Wanzing is in, and Constantine would be the 4th one in. So that is assuming that all 32 charters are in. So it's between Constantine and Smeal. I don't know if we're missing a charter or not. So I'm kind of iffy on that. We'll wait for official confirmation. I know Constantine should be the last one in if we have all 32 charters in. But once again, in order to get into the race, if you're Uncharted, you have to be perfect. You have to be top 10.
Yeah. So I guess we'll see once they all line up. But in the meantime, we get just a few moments now to talk about what's going to happen for tonight's event. Of course, congratulations on the pole. But with that, we now get to get ready to set up for this race, Carmen, and it should be a pretty exciting one tonight. Concord Foods 200 coming at you in about 4 minutes time. Quick overview once again of the track. It's a 2-mile speedway. It's a hot day in California, and interestingly enough, the altitude is 1,111 feet, so OCD fans rejoice. Wind's quite gusty at 12 miles an hour, and the clouds coming and going. It's not very humid, which is good for the fans, maybe not so much for the engines. And yeah, tell us a little bit about Auto Club once again. I know we touched on it just a moment ago, but hey ho, how many times are we going to get to talk about it before we no longer get to race here, even in the virtual world?
Yeah, the track temp, as you noticed, the track temp went up, and we noticed the track was getting a little bit worse as qualifying ran on. Times were starting to get a little bit slower. Temperature's going to be wide. 101 degrees is the track temperature, 76 degrees the air temp. This track's going to get a lot slicker. It's going to be a lot more slippery, a little bit more dancing around tonight. Very low humidity makes it a little bit easy, but again, it's just going to make it slippery. It's not going to be sticky. It's not going to be grippy. It's just going to be slippery. It's going to be very much a tango for about 100 laps here tonight. 12-mile-an-hour winds, pretty consistent wind speed tonight between 11 and 14 miles an hour. Clear skies, there's no reprieve from the heat on track here. That's building and building and building. And as this race goes on, the more that these cars run at speed, that track temp will go up a couple degrees during the race tonight. This is the first race in the daytime since 2021. Every other HTL race has been at night. So a new challenge for most of the field who were not here when HTL started back in 2021, almost 3 years ago.
Absolutely.
So,
with a little bit of time left, of course, Carmen, we already this is kind of our little pre-race ritual, but you picked a handful of drivers to keep your eye on tonight. We got Peach, Hagen, Sosi, and Swatsworth. 10 seconds each. Tell us why.
Well, Peach is easy. Defending series race winner at this track, won the season finale. He should be able to do it again. Didn't qualify well in that race either. Definitely keep an eye on him. Hagen qualified well, qualified to the front of the field. Still looking for his first win, but he's still going to keep an eye on because sometime that look's got to break through. Josh Sosi won Daytona, has been consistent. The only driver with top 10 finishes every race so far this season. Roval, Speedway, Super Speedway, he's got it. That 81 car should be a favorite just about everywhere here on the calendar. And Chad Swatsworth, so close to a race win at the season finale, but consistently so. Is consistently fast across practice and qualifying. We'll see if he can do it again tonight, but right now things are looking pretty good for the 18 car for Arrowhead Racing.
I'll tell you what, the computer would agree with you as they picked Chad Swatsworth to win the race tonight with an average finish of 2.6. Here at Fontana, you picked Josh Sosi. Why?
Sosi's looked really good. Even his lowest finish is a top 10. His lowest finish is 7th at the road course, the Daytona road course. Every open he's been in, he's been in the top 5. He led laps at Pocono. He's led laps at Homestead. Strategy calls at Homestead are really kind of what kept him from the race win. He just made a pit stop way too late, stayed out way too long. This track's going to be a little bit more friendly to him. It's a little bit more open, and it's more in tune with his driving style. You have to step this car out. It's a little loose. It'll start up tight, but it gets looser as it goes, and that favors his driving style very well. We've seen that already so far just in these first few races. A looser car suits him a lot better. He's going to have a really good shot here, and just staying out of trouble. And even in trouble, he was really good at Pocono. So there's not a lot that can keep him down. He's the leading driver for Lady Liberty Motorsports. But he is genuinely, I think, right now, the best Chevrolet driver in the grid, bar none. It's between him. Swatsworth's not a bad pick. Game is never a bad pick. But Sosi's just been the most consistent driver so far this season. In consistency, when you're consistently in the top 5 every race, you strike gold more often than you miss. Sosi's going to get another one. He's going to be contending for most wins this season. It's a matter of when that winning streak starts, and I think that could start tonight.
Absolutely. I'm going to stick with Josh Game, and not just because he's my on and off teammate at Stepping Stone, but because he has been consistently quick in these last few races. However, we do know his worst enemy is himself, but I think today's the day he overcomes that. He gets through the melee, and he finally gets one done. He'll be doing it from pole today, so I'm already off to a good start with that 61 machine. But with that being said, he isn't just the only one on pole. He's got some company, and Carmen, it's time for our favorite little pre-race shuffle shenanigans. It's time for the starting lineup. And you know what that means? It means we're about to go racing. And that's where the excitement really starts to build. Josh Gaiman, congratulations on pole position. And John Hagan alongside him. John Adams and Bobby Blowers, great efforts for both of them. The Project 91 Ascent team continuing to show its muscle with Chad Swatsworth and Seth Wansing just behind. Then it's still a McDonald and Connor Morse, the youngest driver in HTL, with Hunter Peach defending winner here and Nathan Eastep for the top 10.
Hang on, we're not going green.
And just behind that, it's going to be Bianca Constantinou with John Smeal. And then as we look a little further down, Matt Boone and Lily Pelletier-Sharp, Jeremy Brayo and Ryan Moutre. Now, of course, I'm just reading through these as they come off on my screen. So some of these drivers will not be starting the race tonight. And you can see the 91 getting moved to the rear, actually, there. Serving the penalty, yep, but still made it in. So a good effort from Blowers. That car does have pace. Back at the front of the field now. But yeah, Elias Flores, Lilac Zier, Apperson, and Meredith. Defending champion here, of course. So we mentioned he's got some good memories around this 2-mile circuit. Josh Sosi and Selena Thompson, William Britton, Ruby Estes, Acosta, and who I know is not in the field here, Arnold, Sasick, and Lehman. With Gibney, Blake Henderson, Feemster, Proudfoot, Poznanski, Millsap, Eichler, Denny, James Wright, Jacob Shangle, Angel Santiago, Tommy Withers, Katie Height, and Cole Snyder, who are in the show for sure. Pendel, who's in the show. And then last but not least is DJ Anderson II. Now, again, that is how they qualified on the time charts. And that'll be the order they'll be in, but some of those drivers will be missing from the grid. With a full lap in hand to try and figure things out, these drivers have 2 more miles to warm their tires and get prepared for what is going to be a hectic race on the low banks. Low, flat, and wide, Carmen, there's a lot of things to keep an eye on around here, and there's quite a few keys to get a win around this racetrack. Main one being every lane is available. You see those seams? Every single one of those lanes will be used tonight at some point by just about every driver. Clean air is preem. If you can get your nose out from behind the car in front of you, it's part of the reason why every lane works. You gain a lot of momentum and a lot of downforce. It's better to be staggered in a different lane than following directly behind the car in front of you and avoid the big wrecks. Unfortunately, the trend in HTL seems to be run like hell and then cause a 20-car pileup that brings out the red flag. You're going to have to want to avoid those, obviously, if you're going to want to win. We saw how much that shook up the field at Pocono about 10 times over. 5 green-white checkers and a whole host of cars that couldn't save enough fuel under caution. So with that in mind, we got about a half a lap before green. The intensity's starting to pick up.
Yeah, a lot of nerves here, because for a lot of drivers, this is a return to a track that left them snake bitten last season. Obviously, for others, a chance to renew their fortunes. You see everyone weaving a little bit back and forth, just trying to get some heat to those tires as much as they can. Try to mitigate any time loss they're going to have on this opening lap. There's going to be a lot of fanning out. You're going to see, similar to what we saw at Pocono, you're going to see 4 or 5 wide early on as everyone tries to jockey for position early, because that's where most of the time's going to be gained tonight.
That's also where the biggest opportunity for a big mistake that takes out a lot of cars can be as well. So keep an eye out for that. They'll have to mind their P's and Q's. We'll see if they can. Into the Geico restart zone. It's Gaiman and Hagan leading us down. Green flags in the air. We are racing here for the Concord Fruits 200 at Auto Club. Lap 1 in the books. So far, so good. Gaiman leads from Hagan and Seth Wansing. Connor Morse is up 4 positions already inside the top 5, and Nathan Estep is up 5. You can see the entire field. Yeah, absolutely. You can see Dylan McDonald almost making contact with Hunter Peach there, and now a challenge for the lead by John Hagan. Perhaps, maybe, having a look at the line. Gaiman will lead that lap, but Hagan's putting up some pressure. Tuck's back in line for now.
This is Hagan's MO too well. Looking really strong early and then it slips away later on.
Still looking for his first career win in ABN competition. Only about 5 people total are going to get this reference, but it's lately with John Hagan, it's turned into a bit of a Goofy Tyler kind of arc. Looking for that first victory. Second place, enough times to count. Running strong though. They go 4 wide behind. That's not going to be an uncommon sight tonight.
Best for them to talk about clean air being premium. Front of the field has clean air. Once you get this far back, there is no such thing as clean air. It's just the least terrible.
Yeah. See Blake Henderson trying to make some moves early on here. Let's ride on board with him. This is what it's like to be in the middle of the pack. It is just as hectic as you would think it is. Yeah. But for a man that's been in every single HTL Cup Series race ever, he's getting pretty used to it by now. That experience helps a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. Looking for a good result. There's a teammate right in front of him, Zach Appleton. Stay in the wall here. There's Josh Sosi. Hasn't made any runs that yet either.
He's only up 3 positions. I say only, but probably taking care of his rubber a little bit, I would imagine. Meanwhile, John Hagan is taking the lead, and Seth Wansing has made an attempt to go for second and has it for the time being. So Gaiman falling back just a little bit. Again, I think maybe saving a little bit of tire at this stage of the race. We know how much Hagan hates Goodyear tires. There's E-Step in there as well. Side by side with Connor Morse, who's doing quite nicely for himself in the top 5. There's Shad Swatsworth and John Adams behind them. Bia Constantino up a couple spots as well. She's now firmly in the top 10. McDonald and Peach have fallen a couple positions, but still battle with each other for 9th and 10th. And Selena Thompson up 11 positions early on. Great start for her, as for Cole Snyder and DJ Anderson, also up 10. Katie Heights up 14, and Chris Pendell is up 19. So Selena Thompson on a move right now and working on the top 10 as they're 3 wide right in front of her. Bit of a wiggle there from McDonald.
Gotta be a sprint, I think, for the opening laps here. We are on lap number 7, stage 1 into lap 20.
Yeah, apologies for having the timer up there. Now.
Oh, qualifying mode.
Yeah. Oh, we got one car around. That's Sasek.
Sasek and Boone both in the grass.
And how much damage is there on either of them? Have a quick look at what happened here. We stay green. Oh, the Moutre got in front of Sosi, and Sosi bounced into Boone, who bounced into Sasek. Sasek smacks the wall. Boone keeps it off the wall.
A little bit of damage for Sasek there, but
have to hang on for another 12 laps, see if he can assess that under caution. It would be less than ideal to pit. Good job by both of them to keep it in the right direction, though.
yeah, very much so.
Hagan, Gaiman, and Wansing. It's 3 Fords at the front, then Connor Morse and Nathan E-Step. Shad Swatsworth, the first Toyota, in 6th.
Keith Constantino Meredith, the defending series champion, sitting in 9th place.
Another one of those.
Adams,
Yeah, another one of those drivers on the move early, up 11 positions now. can see things finally starting to fan out just a little bit. Some of the tire wear starting to, you know, make itself known. Chris Pendell from the very tail end of the field up to 19th already. Likewise, Katie Height up to 23rd. 18 positions for her, 23 for Pendell. So they are the two biggest movers since the drop of the green flag.
The chaos early on. Another opportunity here in about 11 laps to try to do that again.
Right on board with Connor Morris as he watches the leaders battle in front of him. Coca-Cola onboard camera. Oh, you can see Seth Wanzen getting loose just in front of him there. Loose enough to get some puffs of smoke out there, Carmen. Really starting to lose that back end already.
Yeah, big time. It's very interesting how the cars just really changing here.
But look at all these different lines. You see Connor staggered just a little bit off the back of the 61, trying to get some of that clean air. Just off the back corner panel, just too far away to side draft Seth Wanzen, but might have an opportunity here into turn 3. Sends it in pretty deep. Oof, Wanzen not giving him a whole lot of room. Doesn't need to, though. Gave him just enough room to make it work, and they continue to run 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, if you're John Hagen, this is what you're seeing out your mirror. Looking back at the 61 and the rest of the field. Tell you what, this would be a cool camera once they start moving up the racetrack towards the end of the run, eh?
Trying to find some time.
You see the run that the 61 generates, and then it seems to me Hagen, this would be in line with how Hagen kind of drives. He drives into the corners deep and then kind of doesn't have the best exits. But you can see Wanzen really struggling with the back end of that car in the background.
Yeah.
We've got about a 7-car battle for the lead, if you want to kind of use the term battle for the lead lightly. There's 7 cars in this lead group right now, so 7 to go in the stage at the line.
Brisbane's at the 8, so he's got some clean air right now too, so he's going to try to get into his battle.
See Meredith and Thompson just in the background there. On board with Gaiman now in the in-car camera, the helmet cam. Oh, and there goes Hagen making a mistake, gets loose and loses the lead to the 61. So the tire's falling away from the 64. And right on cue with what you said, Carmen, Hagen goes hard, burns everything up, and comes to bite him towards the end of a run. He did a nice job hanging on to it, but now advantage game, and he is the race leader with Seth Wanzen on the back bumper now. That Miller Lite car looks absolutely beautiful in the background.
The Chevrolet report looks really good. The Chevrolet and the HTL Cup Series on Sunday evening.
Spec mapping on that is fantastic. See the field all in the background, the sun glistening off of these cars. Not to mention, it's still just as hot as it was when we took the green flag. Track temp has gone down about 5 degrees, but it's still pretty hot.
And then it goes down about another 10.
Of course, much different conditions than when we were here for the season finale last season, of course. It was a day to night. Wanzen got some good momentum. Here comes Peach. Up to 5th now. Making some great momentum in that number 1 car. What a story it would be if he were to go back to back here.
Keep an eye on Hagen on the very far outside. There'll be green flag on exit.
Yeah, he's getting aggressive. He's trying to make up for lost ground here. Oh, and look at that. That's Constantinu and Thompson getting together, and they've just about got away with that.
Loose spots and dumps up out of the top 10.
Yeah, they about lost the race car. Good saves from both of those ladies. And Constantinu is They might not be done yet. They're side drafting each other pretty hard. I don't think Constantinu appreciated that too much. Oh, be careful, be careful, be careful. Oh, that was unnecessary. And it's
silly.
that's gonna get Jeremy Breo up against the wall. No caution, but and a good save for Breo not to hit the wall. But that one, that could have been avoided. Well, we'll see what the word is on that, but I'm sure we're not going to see anything happen until post-race. But keep that one in the back pocket. A little bit of frustration between the two of the younger women in the series here. Unfortunate for Breo, he really had nothing to do with it, getting involved in that mess.
Genuinely had nothing to do with it. It was just trying to get around it.
Yeah, he's just chilling. That's the story of Jeremy Breo, isn't it?
Unfortunately,
doing absolutely nothing wrong and just gets clobbered. That's about half of the Jeremy Breo experience there. Heating up though, with 2 to go at the end of the stage. That should be the good news for Breo, who has got rolling again. He should stay on the lead lap for what it's worth. Oh, and there goes Hagen into the wall now.
Goodness.
They do know this is the end of the stage, right? And now the caution's out because they've wrecked again, and that's a big impact.
Oh, wow. Flores.
Who was that hit? Was that Anderson? It was DJ Anderson that clobbered Flores as he came down the racetrack, and the caution is out for the first time tonight. You're right. Yep. Stage will end with Gaiman, Wansing, Morse, Peach, Eastep, Swatsworth, Meredith, Hagen, Zier, and Sosi. And it was Peltier Sharp that was the first one around. Wonder if she had help here. Oh, well. I think they all tried to help each other by the looks of it, Carmen. Let's see here.
Forward here. That's the 91 of Blowers, the 8 of Peltier Sharp.
Well, they're in the wall in front of him, but Gibney hits the wall. Sharp's pushing up the hill. Denny's coming down the hill. Denny and Sharp make contact. Right into Moutre. Yep.
Yeah, Moutre's not expecting it to go like this, and he's trying to keep it out of the grass. Clips. There's where Flores gets turned around.
Yeah.
Really good avoidance there by Apperson. That 4-car managed to get out of the way there from hitting his teammate.
Yeah, same for Snyder there, and I think Arnold just got the tiniest bit of it. Britton does a nice job to miss this as well.
Yeah.
And it wasn't the 99, it was the 44 of Moutre. You could see DJ Anderson did what he needed to do. He was doing the right thing. He just ran out of room because the 44 was sliding down the hill. Absolutely clobbered Moutre. Yeah, Withers does a nice job. They were in the wall ahead of her though, and ahead of Denny and everybody to trigger this. So that's where my curiosity now is, because what was the precipitation to put the rest of the field into the wall here? That's what I'd like to have a look at. Most of the field makes pit stops in the meantime. Right on board with Peltier Sharp. This might give us a little bit of insight. Wow, that was strange. It looked like about half the field, or the back half of the field, just smacked the wall out of the. It kind of like Texas on the green-white checkered a couple weeks ago.
That was a violent hit by Moutre.
Yeah, it really was.
I'd be very surprised if that doesn't end his race. Don't know how much of the. If it was just all rear bumper, if that's rear suspension, it'd stay down.
Yeah, I'm just not going to call anything anymore about whether they're in or out. These cars definitely act a bit different from the real life counterparts, but yeah, what's your call on that, Carmen?
Looking at this, Peltier Sharp's drifting up. Obviously, she drifts up a lot more than Denny does. Denny's trying not to hit the wall.
Yeah. I think
he moves down a little bit, but Peltier Sharp drifts up way high, from the bottom of the track all the way up, and just doesn't stop moving. They bounce, and it's on from there. But I don't think neither of them did anything egregious or wrong on that situation. It just Peltier Sharp ran out of real estate because she was trying to send it in, and obviously we're into the stage of the race. The tires are going away. Those front tires are going to be gone. If she's been running the inside lane the entire time, those front tires are going to die. And and you see that already. She's already started fighting that car. She's already walked out.
Oh yeah, it looks like she gets tight and then loose. Now she's loose again, and now she's chasing it up the hill, and then she kind of does just drive it up into Denny, but she definitely was struggling with the car quite a bit. And then here's Moutre. Oh.
Hard hit.
Yeah.
You cannot paint that in a decent light. The hope is that it was all rear bumper, so the suspension's fine, but I don't think it's going to be that way.
Well, it might be okay with him, but DJ Anderson, unfortunately, is the one who got the worst of it and is probably out of the race now, I'm afraid.
Yeah, it's home track, too. Anderson is officially out of this race, I do believe. He's on pit lane right now, still undergoing repairs.
And again, he did the right thing. He just... Someone's going to be like, well, the 44 didn't, you know, hold the brakes or whatever. Maybe he did, maybe he didn't. But again, that car was still had a lot of inertia. So even if he did have the brakes, it's definitely possible that he slid down. It's not really our call to make on that. But yeah, maybe could have held the brake a little more. But that unfortunate for Anderson, who did everything right and still got caught up in that. Gaiman is the stage winner, by the way, and will restart as your race leader. So congratulations to him getting another stage win. Racking them up early this season. He's starting alongside Connor Morse with reigning winner Hunter Peach behind and E-Step for company as well. That'll round us out to start what will be stage 2. Here we go. Pace car is going to take the hard left. They'll be in the hands of Gaiman. Into the Geico restart zone. And green flag is out. We're racing again at Fontana. Oh, there goes Henderson around. He gets clobbered and nearly goes upside down into the infield. I'm not sure who it was that hit him, but the 25 goes for a wild ride. We stay green. Got loose on his own. Then got a little bit of help from the 12, and look at that car. Nearly takes a wild ride in the infield. Connor Morse now leads this race in the number 3, and it's a gaggle behind.
Absolutely wild.
Yeah.
Almost blew over, Henderson did.
Yeah, he really did. You saw the air get up underneath. I think it was the grass that helped tip that car over, and then the air took it from there. So what else is insane is this 3 wide and 2 or 3 rows now. A lot of hard racing early on here as we're now a quarter of a way into this event. Connor Morse, the youngest driver in HTL. 1 race win to his name. Not an official points paying win though. He's still looking for his first of that nature. And here comes his teammate Josh Sosi on the outside trying to make it Lady Liberty 1-2. Bobby Blowers tags the wall just a little bit out of turn 4 there as they all try to find some breathing space. Here's Caitlin Height up 34 positions in that Petronas machine, going 3 wide now on Gaiman, Zier, and E-Step. And she's gonna make the move. She's now up 36 positions. Her teammate Shad Swatsworth up in P2.
There's McDonald, 396, also in the top 10. All 3 of the Airhead Racing cars in the top 10.
Yep, right there is the 96 on that outside lane.
They've searched the front.
It's looking like it's Ascent. Pretty much Ascent, Arrow, and Lady Liberty right now with some smatterings of Fords in between from various teams. Can't Can't say enough about Seth Wansing right now, though. He's doing a fantastic job in that unchartered machine. Gets some solid stage points, running well within the top 5, and now fighting Katie Height for that position. Working lap 28 now. It is still Connor Morse out front. Him and Josh Gaiman have led all laps so far today. True. Correct.
Look at Sosi charging his way forward.
Yeah, but Swansworth having none of it, trying to cross him over here, side by side, down the back. This opens the door for Seth Wansing to go right up the middle if he'd like. All this happening in the youngster's mirror. What is he, 13, Connor Morse?
Like that, it's wild how much talent that kid has. It is insane. And you just look at all the cars right behind. Sosi, Swanson, Height, East, here, McDonald, Meredith, Thompson top 10. Thompson top 10, okay.
Yeah. And that's after the contact that she had with Constantinu, who also runs in 12th, by the way.
Yeah, likely game in between the two of them.
Yeah.
At the moment.
Again, update on Jeremy Breo. He is still on the lead lap, and he is currently making his way back through the field. He's back up to 26, which sounds like not very impressive until you realize there were 36 cars on the lead lap. We've only lost one car from this race. Excuse me, two. We've lost John Adams and DJ Anderson. So 34 cars remain.
Anderson obviously involved in that accident. Adams had a technical failure.
Mm-hmm.
So there's the two retirements at the moment.
Another bad luck week for Adams.
Genuinely, yeah.
Who has had plenty of pace to boot for these last couple of races. Got wrecked in Pocono, and now a technical failure taking him out of contention now. Sosi up 19 positions, Height up 37. Of course, some of those are some drivers that didn't make the field, but that also counts for Sosi, so take that in mind. 30 plus for Height regardless, and well into the high teens for Sosi. So great moves by both of these drivers to get up into the top 5. They're doing a fantastic job working their way through the field, as is Selena Thompson, who's up into 8th. Alfred Denny's up 21 spots, Chris Pendell up 27. Don't ever say you can't pass here.
Yeah, not at all. You can make passes just about anywhere.
And yet we're turning it into a short track. For what? As the great Kimi Räikkönen once said, for what? Almost 4 wide there. I love the thing about Auto Club where you get that faux 4 wide where nobody's even beside each other, but they're all staggered across 4 lanes. It's such a pretty thing to watch. One of the most photogenic tracks as far as ovals go. It's so easy to get great pictures around here. It's a photographer's dream. And Josh Sosi gonna pass his teammate to go to the lead as Selena Thompson does a little bit of landscaping. A fantastic save from her. But she's gonna lose a heap of positions there.
Almost out of the top 20 here.
Yeah, but a nice save nonetheless. This battle for the Lady Liberty Motorsports teammates still raging on. A little contact down the back straightaway that time. Seth Wansing not quite wanting to give this one up either. And at this point, we're not really telling you who's bouncing off the wall anymore because just about everybody has. You can see the puffs of smoke just about every time we come out of turn 4, but the Lady Liberty teammates have made contact again, and look at that, Seth Wansing giving the tandem to the back of Connor Morse, wanting to move his way up to the front. Now he's gonna go to the inside. Brilliant move.
I was waiting for it. His idea was right there.
I saw it too.
In March.
That is a
Cup Series.
textbook move. It's not quite gonna work, but it's gonna keep him side by side, which could be all he needs to try and make the attempt here. Here's your leaders, 4 cars under a blanket. And Wansing on the slide job. He's gonna get it to work. New leader, Seth Wanzing, but for how long? Because here comes Morse on the crossover, but he's going to tuck in for now. New leader, number 0.
Also, don't mind. There's just a couple of champions right behind as well.
Yeah.
Let's see, how many champions are in the top
And here
10?
comes Morse. Sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, but Morse just gave him a taste of his own medicine. The crossover again, and here they go again.
Wild stuff here in the second stage. They've still got 15 laps.
Yeah, and Seth Wanzing, anything you can do, I can do better. Pulls it off again. Height and Sosi just have to sit and wait.
Yeah, Height's got to the inside now, so she might try to make this 3 wide at some point.
Very well could. Caution.
Caution's out. Kuznanski.
Oh, that's a big one.
Oh, that is a very big
There's about 3 or
there.
4 cars at last week's winner. The 24, Cole Snyder. 28, a Boone. Henderson is not a part of that one, I don't think. Pelletier Sharp is a piece of it again, I believe, or at least came to a stop.
Nansky went to the grass. I don't know if he had a piece of it or if he spun trying to avoid it, but he went to the grass in the front straightaway.
Let's take a look here.
That was my indication that something was wrong here.
And that'll unfortunately put an end to a great battle here. And no, he had everything to do with it because I think Matthew Boone ran him out of real estate. Oh, wait a minute. No, there's more. Well, he did, but
a lot more
not by design. Yeah. So Millsap and Pendel got together. They slide up into Boone. Boone gets sideways and then starts to... It's the same thing that Pelletier Sharp did and chases the car up the hill. Poznansky was there. And then they finally run out of real estate. Pendel trying to hang on to it too. There goes the 24.
Piece of it.
Yeah, Breo.
24 here.
Poznansky. I think Gibney gets away with that, as does Britton.
Does Poznansky keep it safe? Yes,
Just about.
He
He's gonna have damage because he got sandwiched into the wall there. But yeah, I think other than that, he should be okay. He never went around. Take a look at this from the chopper view. So something happened to Chris Pendel that made him check up, and you'll see. Oh wow! Oh, this goes far beyond what happened here. So this would explain quite a bit. Millsap there 3 wide. So take a look. I mean, I'm sure you saw it, but this is who we're gonna keep our eyes on right there. Millsap blinks out, makes latency contact with Pendel, which sends Pendel way down onto the apron. So now his tires are gonna be dirty, and he's got a really suboptimal line. Millsap keeps the pressure on, but Pendel gets tight, has to check up. At the same time that happens, Millsap gets into the back of him, and at the same time that happens, Boone gets loose and then gets finished off by Millsap, who slides up after hitting Pendel. Selena Thompson has to take evasive action to the outside lane. Boone gets it straightened out, but is now chasing the car up the hill. Poznansky nowhere to go. Gets ran out of room. I don't think he actually does hit the wall there, so very light contact. That's where the 24 car gets collected. He comes back across the track. That's where Breo gets a piece of it. Gibney just sneaks through. Breo has to spin it to the outside now because here comes Poznansky. And I think that's it. I think they all just kind of slide from there. Breo does a very, very nice job. Wow, to not get any damage from that. That was a good combination of luck and skill for Jeremy Breo. And I know I just said Jeremy Breo and luck in the same sentence. It can happen, folks.
Occasionally.
Yeah, let's just ride on board. This is going to be a sequence. Yo! Oh, I can't hit the outside wall. I gotta get it off of there. Wow! Whew.
Way too close to that wall for comfort.
Nah, way too close to getting clobbered there by Britton for comfort as well. They need a new fire suit and 4 fresh Goodyear tires to that 88 box immediately. Goodness gracious. So, little summary here for you. Here's how the top 20 went. Most of the leaders stayed out. Connor Morse on back came down to pit. So your top 11 have, or top 14 actually, because Peltier Sharp stayed out, have not taken tires. They last pit on lap 20. And yeah, everybody else just pit on lap 37. So look for them to be moving through the field. It'll be Wansing and Height on the front row with McDonald, Sosi, Meredith, and Peach for good company behind. Zier, Konstantinou, Sasek, and Poznansky, the top 10.
Interesting race. That's been a lot of fun so far. Mm-hmm. I mean, we shouldn't expect anything less. It's Fontana, which is always good, but the way they've been able to push and be lights out, and we haven't had a big one yet. Knock on wood. It's been 3 or 4 cars.
Here we go.
Yeah, I know. We're coming to 11 laps to go.
Agent of Chaos, Carmen Sienna. Part of our illustrious comms team here as we get ready to go back to green flag racing once again. Wansing and Height on the front row. Green flag's out. We'll try it again here. 3rd restart of the day. And Height does not get going at all. Slow restart, but a nice pounce through turn 1 and 2. Both the Arrowhead Racing cars got a good exit out of turn 2. And here they go. Oh my goodness, huge crash in the back with Henderson and DJ Anderson. No caution. But they've taken, both of them have taken a hellacious hit to the outside wall out of turn 2. Both of them were already heavily wounded, yeah.
McDonald just dropped spots. He tagged the wall out of 4. Trouble still at the end of the crash.
And E-Step has crashed as well now, so.
Yeah, someone's in the grass. Yeah, there's
that's E-Step. Still no yellow. We are still green.
Almost to the back of the field. Let it go.
Yeah. It's Height and Wansing still side by side, and they're wrecking again, or trying to at least, and there they go. I think.
And there's the yellow.
Yeah. That's Gibney. That's
Santiago.
Yeah. Britain gets a piece of it. And I think so was Selena Thompson a part of that. Oh boy.
Crab walking that 31. That 31's done.
Mm-hmm.
You can tell just by the crab.
Oh, wow.
Whoa.
Not sure if that was intentional or not, but
I guess we'll find out. Do the ends justify the means?
Yeah. Well, it's Poznansky and Gibney. Gibney's going to probably get a shot here from the 16.
Layman.
See if we can go to a better view
He's
here.
clear. He's got a shot. Poznansky's... I don't think this is really... Well, the contact's probably going to start here, but I don't...
Well...
Now they're side by side.
Gibney... Well, Poznansky kind of runs them out of room. And now they're going to get together.
I think, yeah, Poznansky may have been trying to side draft there.
Yeah. And then Gibney's going to go around here, and then the 16...
He almost saves it.
Yeah. Layman can't slow down any more than that, though, and just kind of finishes him off. And now this is where it's going to get exciting, because now you've got everybody trying to react to a car in the middle of the track. That's where Thompson gets into it, and that might be a day-ending hit for her. Oh, my goodness, the 90. I mean, passenger side, that was gear shift deep into the 31 car.
Yeah, I don't think Santiago and Gibney had any bad blood there. I think it's one of those.
Well, yeah, no, they're clobbered. Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's more damage on that car than we initially thought there was.
Well, yeah, you can see the right front was pretty. Well, let's see here. You can see the 31's crabbing pretty hard. The 90. You can see how hard he's having to hook that car there, actually.
Yeah, he's bobbing
wobbling.
Back and forth
Yeah, he clipped the grass, and that's what it was.
Yeah.
So, just unfortunate.
Yeah, both those cars, I think, are already pretty well done.
Yeah, so here's what happened to E-Step. He's coming out of turn 4. That's Pendel. Gets into him once, finishes him off. Another car getting airborne through there. Nice job to keep it out of the pit wall, but that's what happened to E-Step. Take another angle at it here. Not quite as much air underneath that car as we saw with the 25, but God, Breo cannot catch a break in turn 4, can he?
No, he cannot.
There's what's happened there. So here's DJ Anderson. Now this was the big wreck we saw. Yeah, here's Anderson down on the bottom. He's going to get loose. Of course, nursing that damage. Number 19 catches the bump, gets loose, and good night, Blake Henderson, who just gets blindsided. No way he could have even seen that one coming, I'm afraid. And as a result, absolutely no chance to avoid it, and that's going to make his day even worse. Right on board with him here, and hang on. Oh, and did you see that, Carmen? It was in the blind spot of the A post, too. Even worse. You just see the 19 exit his peripheral, and then suddenly, hello. That is about the worst kind of hit you can take. And that's all the sequences of events that put us under caution for the 4th time today now.
Caution of the night. And again, top 9, top 10 still stayed out, including Poznansky.
Yep. Peltier, Sharp, and Arnold lost a few positions, as did Lehman, but they continue to stay out, so I think they're going to try to make it to the end of the stage.
You've made your bid at this point.
Yep.
You got to lie in it.
Morrison Swatsworth were the newest cars on fresh tires, as is Gaiman. Now this is where it's danger zone for Josh Gaiman fans. It's going to require a lot of patience to get through the field here and not cause any issues. We all know Gaiman's worst enemy is himself, so that 61 car has a lot of pace though, so we'll see what happens if they can get up through the field. Green flag going to be back in the air. We'll try it again.
Green flag, go, go, go!
Height and Wanzing going to lead us down. Another great start by Wanzing. Another okay-ish start for Height. Less than ideal. I think Wanzing's kind of catching them all off guard here.
He's really good at those restarts.
Absolutely.
Sunday evenings when Wanzing's got the race lead, he is so hard on those restarts. He is near calm to stop. He's got to. That's what makes him so dangerous on these short runs too. Because coming to 5 to go in the stage, he is so good.
Peach having a look at Height. Championship rivals last year. Battling for the lead this year. Friends, maybe never.
Top to bottom to top.
And they stagger in the faux 4-wide formation. But it's Wanzing and Height gonna just clear Sosi, and that's Gaiman getting sideways and having a good save out of turn number 2, but he's gonna lose it a handful of spots there and is probably gonna cost himself a shot at stage points.
Wanzing drives it in deep. Drove it in deeper than Height was going to. Height wanted to drive it in deep, but Wanzing makes it stick.
Oh, look at Constantinu getting the back end all squirrely there too. She's pushing hard for some stage points. Good opportunity for her.
A lot of drivers trying to go out right now in the second stage.
McDonald pushing it too.
McDonald, yeah, he's being quiet. He's been quietly up here just about all race long. There's Zier in the 50.
Well, wouldn't you believe it? All 4 of our Championship 4 drivers in the top 10 right now.
It's almost as if they were really good here last season.
Yeah, it's almost as if they all earned a spot to do it.
Yeah. Funny that, including the last season's race winner too.
Absolutely. All 5 of them under a blanket. With some new talent sprinkled in. Oh, we got one in the wall there. What was that? That's Poznansky. His luck's finally ran out. That's a significant damage to the 12. He's going to keep it up and out of the way. We stay green. 3 wide for the lead.
That was Brando. Talking to the bottom of that mess there. Katie Height to the front of the field.
Oh, wrecking behind.
That's Meredith.
No caution yet. We stay green for now.
To the inside.
Still 3 wide for the lead. No caution yet. Coming to 2 to go in the stage.
Oh dear.
3 wide still. 2 to go.
We got 3 wide. We hear 4 wide.
It's in the hands of Hunter Peach. Gonna give a little bit of a push there to Wanzing. Oh my goodness, and Wanzing just barely comes across the nose of everybody.
Very smart play there by Wanzing.
And Peach.
Right away.
And Peach, because now Peach has the momentum to try to clear the rest of them and will get away with it. So now it's man on man.
Peach stays outside.
Yeah, Kate's not going to give this one up yet.
No, absolutely not. Coming to the white flag in stage 2.
Peach is going to have all the momentum. Oh, but he hits the wall there. That's going to cost him. He's lost that momentum. So now 1 to go in the stage. Here comes Sosi with a big shot to height. And they're going to have all kinds of movement. But now the yellow's out again.
Not sure
What for? I don't see anybody spinning. Or off the pace. Oh, don't tell me they threw it a lap early. You don't think?
Trying to double check and see, because there's a lot of passing between Zier and Flowers for outside the top 10. But I don't know if anything came out of that. I don't think so. No, Flowers and Zier still 11 to 12.
Well, Seth Wanzing will come to win the stage with Height, Sosi, Peach, McDonald, Gaiman, Morris, Constantinu, Sharp, and Lehman all getting stage points. Swatsworth pits immediately.
I think they did throw it early.
No.
I'm double checking. I'm trying to go back and listen to the audio real quick. Trying to listen to the radio, so bear with me.
Yeah, of course. Better her than me.
Go back here. Yeah, it was thrown a lap early.
Now, how on earth are they gonna do that?
Because Henderson, I think he was trying to figure out what lap they were on, because he's not on the lap anymore. So I don't know where the communication was on that.
Well, an opportunity for what was gonna be probably the most exciting stage finish of the year so far goes up in smoke.
I mean, it still was exciting because no one knew it was gonna end, apparently.
I suppose.
I'm trying to put a positive spin on it, but yeah, that's silly. But yeah, it came a lap early.
I think Wanzing pretty well had it either way, but
he had it pretty well covered off, but it was going to be fun watching the fight for it.
yeah, and the battle between Zier and them for 10th is definitely going to be, yeah, I don't,
Well, they were outside the top 10. Zier had just fallen out of it.
either way, that's still kind of lame.
Yeah, 100% lame, but
Furthering my point that stages are not supposed to be a motorsport. Maybe if you want to do stages, you should do them right. But Matthew Boone wins the race off pit road by not pitting. It's actually Breo that wins the race off of pit road. Britton and Boone stay out. Breo with the gamble. Height and Sosi with the more normal pit stops here. So Boone and Britton stay out by virtue of the fact that they pit earlier. So now they're on the opposite strategy as what everybody else just did on the end of that stage, which I'm interested to say did work out for those drivers that all stayed out on older tires. The tire fall off not quite as bad as maybe it would have seemed. Either that or working through the field just isn't the best situation to do, because where you gotta go when they're 4 wide in front of you, I suppose.
put a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B on that one.
Mm-hmm. Shout out to Seth Wanzing, though, who did a great job to win the stage. And whether we had the proper stage length or not, I think that was pretty well his for the taking. So congrats to him.
Height and Sosi were going to duke that one out pretty hard.
Well, Sosi gave such a big shot to Height there that I think that they may have had a half a shot to try to go after Wanzing, but I think Wanzing would have had the preferred lane and the preferred, you know, place to be.
Yeah, Wanzing has the ability to drive really defensively. Those short runs for him are fantastic. as I mentioned there earlier. Like, he is just so hard to beat in that situation.
We saw some calamity in the background. Here's what happened. It was Eli Sassett getting tipped to the inside there. It's the second one Alfred Denny's had collisions with. Another good save by an Ascent driver through the infield there. Less than ideal circumstances, but they all have been doing quite nicely with that. So it'll be Boone, Britton, Height, Breo, Wansing, Sosi. And then what happened to Meredith? I know he got turned, but I don't know that we have a replay of that, unfortunately.
I don't think we do, because he never completely spun. I don't think. He never completely spun, so he doesn't...
See if we can
for those
very
kind of-
quickly see, but... No,
Yeah,
this
I
is
think
the
we
older
need to try
crash,
to-
so...
Yeah, if he doesn't completely spin or come to a stop, it's going to be difficult. Yeah, it's going to be difficult for us to try to find it here. But he got turned on the back straightaway with about 3 laps to go.
Yeah, that is a limitation of our software, so we apologize for that. But green flag back in the air here. Boone and Britton lead us down, and we're back underway for the final stage here tonight. And for what it's worth, Meredith is still rolling and on the lead lap, so that spin. Oh, and now contact from the 2 leaders on old tires. And that's going to open the door now for Height on fresh tires to try and make a move on the outside, and she will. She takes the lead from Boone while the momentum is down, and here comes Gaiman in tow as well on the outside lane. That worked out a treat for the 2 of them, didn't it? And Breo now, yeah.
Breo loose.
Handful of cars in the wall.
Congo line touching the concrete.
3 wide, Britton and Boone on the old tires trying to hang on from a hungry pack of wasps behind them. It is a swarm. Meanwhile, Height and Gaiman, nothing but daylight as they run away from a ill-handling Jeremy Breo. And now Seth Wansing has the opportunity to try and make something happen around the outside. So now the fresh tire cars are 1, 2, 3. And Gaiman pushing hard to try to get back to the lead, the stage 1 winner. And makes a move to the bottom. Caitlin Height up 40 positions and in the lead of this race, now 39, as she loses the lead to Gaiman by about a half a car length. Down the back straightaway now. Oh, Gaiman loses it. Goes across the racetrack and is going to get clobbered by Sosi
Hard.
and a handful of others, and the caution comes out again, and that's a couple of big contenders out of this race.
Yeah, that's both of our picks out.
Yeah. I don't know that there was contact, Carmen, but we'll have to have a look.
I don't know if there's contact between Height and Gaiman or not.
Well, I don't think so. Looks to me like he just loses it, but we'll see. Sliding up, trying to do a slide job, and yeah, no, just completely loses it on his own. And Height does a great job to get out of the way. Sosi couldn't.
I think Katie kind of saw it coming.
Yeah, and what did we say? Who is Josh Gaiman's worst enemy?
Himself.
Yeah, we'll see right here in slow motion. This will be a good angle. You can see he's already lost it here. Overcorrects a little bit. It was a good attempt. He was making a good, clean slide job at the back end as he was going over the seams, the transitions. And holy moly. Good heads-up driving and a lucky save. And then Sosi picked the wrong lane, and that's going to take Constantinu out. I was trying to see who else that was that got hit. And it was Bia Constantinu, and she goes for a wild ride to the inside of the racetrack, and she actually is going to glance off the inside wall. Not sure how much damage is on that 57 machine, but kind of not as bad as I think it was going to be. I figured she would have hit much harder there. He tried to hang on to it. Oh my goodness. Look at Connor Morse go flying through there to try and avoid. I think he does get away with that. Yes, he does. That's going to be a fun onboard to watch. Let's take a ride with him. And we'll get us back to the action here. This is on board with Connor Morris. Woo! Young and lucky, but also pretty good. So Height is the leader with Wanzing, Breo, Peach, and Britton the top 5. Then Morse, Zier, Blowers, Sharp, Millsap the top 10. I am surprised William Britton has not come down pit lane, given how much they were struggling on that restart there. But we'll see. We'll do it again. Should be getting the one to go this time by. There you go. They double up now, and we'll see Height v Wanzing part 4 continue on here. Jeremy Brero and Hunter Peach just behind. Peach doing very, very nicely for himself, especially for somebody who is trying to defend his title at this track, having won here for the season finale. Update on Zachary Meredith fans, he is making good ground. He's up to 19th at the moment, so still has a long way to go after that spin, but Meredith is hanging in there nicely, and I don't think it's going to be too terribly long before we see the 17 back in the top 10. So we're keeping an eye on him while we keep an eye on this battle out front. And an update from the 61 pit box, the tow link was killed. They fixed that, but they can't fix the rest of the damage on the 61 machine, so that may be a day ender for Josh Gaiman, who once again had a very fast car. But just lost it a little bit on an unforced error going for the lead, but was racing hard for it. Sometimes you'll have that. Pace car off, we'll get ready to go green flag yet again here in the Concord Foods 200 at Auto Club into the Geico restart zone. It'll be in the hands of Height and Wanzing. Height the leader this time. Green flag's out, we're off and away. 41 laps to go in the race. Get away pretty well. They're trying to negotiate William Britton, who's a bit slower on those older tires in the green and black. And now we got trouble. That's Millsap getting turned with a little bit of help from from Hagen, but I don't know if he had anything to do with it. I think he just finished off Millsap, and that'll bring out the caution again. So we're past the halfway point, and it's getting to that point where do the HTL shuffle. Give these transmissions a real good workout, getting up through the gears, slowing down through the gears, back up through the gears. Have a look and see what happened to Jake Millsap in the number 13 to send him spinning here. Oh, he kind of came down onto Hagen, and Hagen finishes him off. Quick lazy spin for the 13. That's about the most gentle caution we've had so far today. Millsap didn't quite hold the lane, paid the price for it. Round he goes, no harm, no foul, just a lot of positions lost, neither car too damaged. 4 fresh good years and he'll be fine. A-okay.
Precautions.
Yep.
That's a saying that is pretty true.
Yep. William Britton finally pulls off to get fresh tires. as does much of the back half of the field. Withers, Thompson, Swatsworth, Poznanski, Arnold, and Millsap all come in, as does Sosi, which will give us round about 20 cars that stay out. And of those top 20 that stay out, here's when they all made their last pit stops. Most of them on lap 51, Pendel, Constantinu, and Snyder on 57. And I'm not quite sure what scoring's doing. Oh, B is a lap down and getting her lap back, so that's what's going on. Thought we were having a NASCAR and NBC moment there on the right-hand side with her shooting up the leaderboard, but here you go. So Height up 40 spots from the start of this race, currently leads. Breo up 13, trying to continue some momentum. He had a good run at Pocono, kind of squandered, but started on pole there, but back up in the front here. So. Again, shout out Seth Wansing, who's done a great job today. He still runs in the 3rd position. He's been up front most of the day. Hunter Peach, defending winner here, doing nice as well. And Connor Morse, the youngest driver in the HTL field, I believe age 13, sitting up in the top 5, has done some great bits of driving to keep himself there. And they'll double up once again, and we'll get ready to take another attempt at a restart. Still around about 26 drivers on the lead lap here. I think 28 technically, but some of them still repairing damage. What I can tell you for sure is that Sosi, Gaiman, McDonald, Henderson, Santiago, Gibney, Anderson, and Adams are either off the lead lap or out of the race at this point. So. Pace car is going to pull off, and we'll get ready to go once again here. Height and Breo, I hate to say this is a vintage front row, but it's been a while since we've seen these two share the top 2 spots. Pace car off, we'll give it another go here. Can we get it going this time? Green flag going to be in the air. 37 to go. Connor Morse gets all kinds out of shape, as does Ryan Moutre, but they both hang on to it. Height leads Breo, and Peach now up into 3rd. Don't count out Lilac Zier either. The late summer surge continues for the car number 50, as she puts herself into a decent position. How about Peltier Sharp for Lady Liberty as well? A fantastic day for Lady Liberty Motorsports, minus the fact that they lost Sosi to a crash. All their drivers running up front doing nice today.
Several cars out of this race. It's obviously Sosi, Gaiman, McDonald, Henderson, Gibney. I think Henderson back now.
Yeah, sorry, just Peltier Sharp got all kinds out of shape right in front of her teammate. Now they're going to be 3 wide going into turn 3 with Hagen there as well. Bobby Blauer's having a fantastic day in 7th place at the moment for the Ascent Project 91 car. They're all battling for the top 5 and the tail end of the top 10. Meanwhile, Height and Peach are scooting away with Breo and Zier about to be fighting for that final step on the podium, but it looks like Zier is trying to help out Breo at the moment and get them both moving away from the rest of the field.
Working with the defending series champion in RX.
Mm-hmm.
She has an idea of what Breo can do.
Yeah, Height and Peach on the breakaway right now. Peach trying to go back to back at Auto Club, looking very strong to do that. He's done a fantastic job tonight. Height trying to deny that and get her second win of the season. She's needing to make up some points. Not that she needs to, because she's already locked in, but as far as regular season goes, she'd like to lock up some more points because due to the extended nature of Pocono with how many extra green-white checkers, almost an extra half race length distance past regulation, she had to park the car and leave as part of that regulation because of prior commitments. So she would like to make up that, and Connor Morse would like to not find the wall too many more times as he slaps it quite hard out of turn 4 there. And that one might have been enough to do some damage to the number 3 machine, but we'll have to wait and see. He's hanging on to it for now, though, but that will allow Zier up into 4th position because she started to fall back just a little bit.
Don't run the war. It's not going to give it up.
Mm-hmm. This will allow Breo to scoot away, though, which is exactly what he wants to see, because now it's a 3-horse race up front, while the rest of them squabble about for the top 5. Morse gets loose again, but hangs on to it yet again. And Zier clips the wall this time, albeit much lighter than Morse. Bringing lap 69 of 100. Give us 31 to go at the line. Look at the move there by Hagen, trying to do a power move around the outside. He'll make it stick. He goes up into 4th now. Zier falling back just a touch.
Everyone in the top 10. Set on lap 51. Back there on lap 57 and is already back in the top 10.
Yeah, we're talking about Meredith trying to make a comeback here after getting spun under green flag conditions. He is back inside the top 10 and making very good progress. He is continuing his charge back to the front. Look for him to be, I think he's got a top 5 car still in this race, honestly. He was up front and fighting for the lead earlier, especially if we get another caution too. And look at that, he's trying to go 2 for 1 in turn 1 and 2. Can't quite pull it off, but that 17 car is still just as fast as it was a little bit ago. Still about 1.5 seconds, though, to catch the 3 leaders. About 6 cars to get there, so we'll see. Height still leads over Peach right now, but Breo starting to put the charge on, looking faster than both of them at the moment. 30 to go. Oh, Peach having a bit of latency there.
Gary.
Yeah, giving a big scare to probably both himself and Breo. He's going to lose some momentum as a result of that. No actual damage on the number 1 car, so disregard what you saw there. The car is fine, but a little bit of latency here and there, not going to help his case too much. He still runs 2nd and is going to hang on ahead of Breo, but I'm sure Breo will be on the radio immediately saying, "Whoa, you're blinking." At least if he was anything like anybody else in the league or iRacing, because anytime you see a blink, that's usually what the reaction is.
Leads the way still. Heat, Breo, 2nd and 3rd. Hagen trying to get into this lead battle as well.
He's got to be careful not to burn up all of his tires getting to that group. Zier seems to have stabilized in 5th, just ahead of Peltier Sharp, so she's found her footing now that she finally got back into a rhythm where she can actually arc the corners. She got stuck on the bottom for just a bit there. Meredith slowly but surely working his way up through the field. It's going to get harder for him now to make those moves that he's made it into the top 10, but I still think he's got the pace to get it done.
Absolutely.
I think we'll probably still have a pit stop at least. Definitely a 1-stopper from here, but I think they do all need to stop at least one more time.
I think so. I believe they will.
Hard to tell with the cautions, but I think that they just can't quite go that many laps.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see Meredith, because Meredith's having a 54. I don't think, well, not 54.
Yeah, but the way he's racing too, I don't think he's trying to save anything. So
No.
which is fair because I don't think he has a reason to save right now. He's gonna have to make that momentum up. But Peach had a look on height, couldn't get it done that time. Trying that late apex again. Gonna do it in 1 and 2 here. What an interesting line. You saw how much he backed up the corner. And look at the momentum he's gonna try to carry down the back straightaway. You can just see that orange bumper peeking in through the right-hand side of your screen there. Trying to make something happen.
Talk about clean air being key. That's what it looks like. Everyone's gonna try a different lane. We're gonna make something happen.
Height looking for her second win of the season. Hunter Peach looking for his first. On board with Breo, who's also looking for his first win of the season. He's got 1 pole.
For a lot of these drivers, a race win would be phenomenal to get their season really jump-started here.
Here, Breo is so aggressive on the downshifts here.
Yeah, I know some people aren't fans of it, but that just from 5th to 4th helps a lot with the handling, getting that rear rotating.
Yeah, you can hear the revs, how high up they get here, but Breo's so aggressive on it. Oh, he clipped the paint just a little bit there. You can hear him get out of the gas. Let's just listen here. Listen in.
To interject here at this point in time.
Connor Morris in the pit lane. And as Boone. I'm not sure if that's scheduled or not. It could be. He can make it from here. But interesting move. We'll see if any of the leaders respond. Does not look like they will, at least not yet. So the battle up front will continue. Looks a lot tamer from the front of the field there than it did in the back. But yeah, Sharp's in now, but only just these 3 so far. So Lady Liberty on a slightly different strategy, yeah.
Trying something different.
Pit a little early, maybe take advantage of those fresh tires. You can see how the top 3 have driven away. I think Hagan did the exact opposite of what he needed to do. I think he burnt through all of his tires trying to get to the leaders. Yeah, Zier having a nice charge here again, but starting to lose a little bit of grip to that 5th place. We'll see if anybody else comes in this time, though. It looks like it's just Lady Liberty that are pitting this early, at least as the very front runners. So we'll see if it works out for them.
I don't hate that call.
I don't either. This is a track that's notorious for getting huge gains. However, we saw earlier a lot of drivers that made the pit stops. I feel like the tire difference just isn't as strong as it has been previous here.
I think it's mostly, if everyone's going to make a pit stop, they've taken clean air. They've taken clean position. Like, they have really good from the lane. Obviously, Daytona.
Yeah, that's true.
Easy pit in, easy pit out. I think that's going to be critical because you're going to see waves of drivers start coming in here all at once, and they'll slow each other down. I think they're banking on that and that undercut. That combination could be pretty deadly, especially for Connor Morris. He might inherit the lead here.
See, this works out real nicely, though, if it stays green. If it doesn't, they've put themselves in, not to use a term from the series that cannot be named, but they've put themselves into a bit of a danger zone here. Granted, it's not the end of the world if a caution comes out, but their advantage just is not going to be what it was. So I think that's the thinking here is a lot of these drivers are saying, look, I don't want to be the first one to blink because the odds are when the first group blinks, they're all going to wreck and we're going to have a caution anyway. Which isn't an unreasonable thing to think, looking at how the season's gone so far. Cole Snyder comes in. He pits from 18th position, or he was actually up around 14th, but now falls to 18th and will fall to the tail end of the lead lap and probably fall off of the lead lap. With 21 laps to go now, they can definitely make it from here. Not that it was really up for debate earlier, but now this is when the window is actually starting to open more, because I think this is where more drivers are going to be wanting to come into the pit lane because they know what 20 laps on tires feels like because they've ran the stage like that. So And here comes Height, right on cue, with Breo as well, who, may not make the pit lane. I think he just about did. Hagen is in, Withers is in. Yeah, this makes more sense for these drivers to come in now because they know what 20 laps on tires is. So they feel safer just in the brain to be able to make that move because they've already experienced it once. Gives them just a nice, easy 20-lap stage to finish things off. Hunter Peach now leads for the first time today. Zachary Meredith up to third tentatively. He needs to try and get away from this group a little bit. He could throw himself into the fight for the top 5, I'd say. Here comes Peach now into pit lane. How much of a difference is that extra lap gonna make? We'll find out. Here comes Apperson as well. Meanwhile, here's Height getting back onto the racetrack. E-Step now is the leader in the 56 machine with Meredith in second, Zier in third, Denny and Sasek. All 5 of them still need to make a pit stop. There's the 88 of Breo and the 11 of Height and Hagen. So that is the soon-to-be leaders. And critically here, Height stays on the lead lap versus E-Step. So if a caution were to come out, she would be safe. Or will she? Because E-Step is going to fight her for that. Meredith is in the pit lane now. Meredith and Zier lead. Height will be the leader once things cycle out. Or actually, no, Hunter Peach will. Hunter Peach will be the leader. He actually has overcut the field. So Height's catching Peach, excuse me. So Peach had a really good pit stop. And the overcut seems to be a good move so far. At least for him. Because they passed Meredith pretty handily here. So I think Hunter Peach may have just had a fantastic pit sequence here.
I think so, because Peach is not far away either.
No, he's only a handful of car lengths right there, but I mean, to have leaped Height and put a gap on Height after pitting a lap later, that's interesting. Because in general,
4 laps slower pit stop. Up through the pit lane, 4 seconds slower.
Yeah.
Hunter Peach on lap 81, 44.58. Katie Height 48.4.
Well, there you go. Zier, Denny, Sasek, Arnold, Blowers, Moutre, Flores all come in this time. Which leaves E-Step, Lehman, and Pendel out with Britton and Swatsworth the top 5. Poznansky as well.
E-Step and Lehman pit on lap 51, as did Pendel. Britton and Swatsworth pit on 61, as has Poznansky.
So they all need to make a pit stop yet. This is the battle for the lead right now. It is Hunter Peach and Katie Height. So Peach on 1 lap fresher tires on the overcut somehow has had a 4-second better pit stop. So great work by Hunter Peach. But how much will it matter because Height has caught him. We've seen these two. Yeah, we've seen these two battle before. Is Peach saving tire, you wonder? Because he does have fresher tire. Wonder if he's trying to save some in the tank and have a late race charge at Height. Might not be a bad idea. But Height's going to control the pace now, so I wonder what's up with that. Peach didn't take 2, did he?
Oh, he did.
Did he? That explains it.
Yeah, that would explain the 4-second difference. Yeah. Yep, that's a 2-star stop.
So a bit of a Hail Mary there. We'll see how that works out for him. He's lost the lead, but he'll probably still be round about the top 5, honestly.
Reyes right behind him.
Yeah, I think he'll be safe to get a top 5 at this rate because the field's going to be quite spread out. But by the way, they still have to wait for Pendel, Britton, Swatsworth, and Poznansky to pit. E-Step is in the pit lane finally. But this is the race leader right now, Chris Pendel in the 94 with 14 laps to go. And that's the battle for the lead that William Britton is now going to take charge to. So William Britton, for the second week in a row, gonna wait for them to cross the line. He will now lead a lap for the second week running on strategy. So well done, William Britton. And well done, Chris Pendell. So they currently are battling for the lead as it stands, but the leaders, after this is all said and done, currently it's tight with a comfortable margin back to Peach, and then Breo, and then Hagen, and then Connor Morse in 5th. Once everybody pits. So William Britton once again leading an HTL Cup Series race with 12 laps to go.
He pit on lap 61. He pit 40. It'll be 40 laps by the time the end of the race happens. It'd be interesting to see what that window looks like.
Yeah, I don't think he could make it.
Everyone cut it down pretty short because they pit based on tires.
Mm-hmm.
So what does that fuel tank look like? I don't think he's got enough to hold it anyway because he's only got a 14-second gap.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think he's got enough, but he's out here and leading laps again, which is a great deal for him. This is what he does. He is a decent driver who has some incredible strategy calls, and it works out quite well for him. Chris Pendell pits now, which means Poznanski, Swatsworth, and Britton are the final 3 to go still. But no, why not?
This is actually very interesting because Pendell pit with 11 laps to go. He put on 51. I think, looking at the math, it's possible. It is reachable for Britain to have to save fuel to make it to the end.
Well, we'll find out.
Mathematically possible, which is insane.
It'd be an incredible feat if he could do it. I just don't think that it's gonna work, but we'll see if anybody could pull it off. Zier and Britton would be the first 2 I would mention that would be able to pull a strategy like that off. Swatsworth pits. So Britton has 24 seconds to play with here. Back to Katie Height, so if he thinks he could make something happen there, but I don't know because Poznanski's in the pit lane now as well. And he's racing awfully quick for a man who's got 24 seconds in the bank. If he was going to try to make it, which says to me either he knows he's not going to make it or he really thinks he's going to make it. So, because if I were him right now, if I had to save fuel and I had 24 seconds back to the leaders, I'd be, you know, with 9 laps to go, I'd be giving up 2 or 3 seconds a lap just to make sure I'd make it, you know?
Bank on a yellow.
Well,
I think a yellow at that point would kind of do him though, because right now he's got 23.5.
I don't think he has enough. Part of me wants him to, because that'd be such a cool victory, but
coming in.
It looks like he is, but he always, yeah, he keeps looking like he's slow, but I think he's just slow because of the tires. So
I'm gonna pull up telemetry on my end here on my monitor, see what he's doing. 185, 186. He's up to 190 into turn 1.
He's given up about a second and a half.
He is saving. He's off.
Oh yeah, you heard it right there. He just went by the camera completely off,
yeah,
but he hasn't been doing that for a long time. So I don't know.
I was looking at him just like, that's a really weird line for someone to run.
Yeah.
If they're not saving. That's a really weird line because the way he's pitching it in early and letting it ride.
Listen to that. Listen, you can't even hear him. So either he's trying to really make it to the end or he's trying to get every lap he can out of it. Why not?
23 seconds to play with.
Why not? Exactly. He's got 20 now. So I'll tell you what, if he could do it, this would be an absolute upset. We've seen him win stages like this before, but now he's in position to win a race. And boy, what would that do to his championship if he could win a race here? Charter or not, that'd lock him into the championship if he stays top 35.
Like,
Katie Height is 19 seconds off the pace of William Britton and is gaining multiple laps per, multiple seconds per lap. We'll bring it up here, the gap of the top 5, so you can keep an eye on it. William Britton thinks he might have enough to make it to the checkers here. 18.6, 6 laps to go, and listen when he comes by here.
This is crazy.
Absolutely nothing. Completely clutched in.
Yeah, I figured he was going to be saving because the way he was hemorrhaging some time there, I was like,
Yeah, well, that's why you do that. You use that time that you would have. He thinks that it's faster to clutch coast all the way around. He thinks he might have enough to make it. He thinks it's a better situation. Maybe even if he doesn't win the race, he thinks he's maybe got a better shot at it, but now he's going to come in. He didn't have enough. I didn't think he would, but it was a valiant effort.
That was a very good effort.
He's led a handful of laps and got us all out of our seats for just a moment. He was waiting on that caution, but it just never came.
That was insane.
But this will now hand it off to Katie Height, who with 3 and some change in hand should be pretty smooth sailing. Breo has gotten around Hunter Peach, as has Hagen and Meredith. So Peach is gonna be rolling about 5th, but it's only 3/10 back to Lilac Zier, so the 2 tires has not worked out very well for him.
No, it is not. He won what Josh Sosi did at Homestead.
Lilac Zier, though.
Behind either.
Yeah, and Zier now has taken that position.
Yeah,
And what do we say about Meredith too? There he is, back in the top 5. We knew he'd be back. Peach trying to hold the fight here with 5 to go. Whoa, Zier really pushing there. And yeah, Alfred Denny having a great run now.
Absolutely.
After being towards the back earlier on and getting turned at one point.
Yeah.
Connor Morse looking for a strong top 10 finish here. Josh Arnold, another strong top 10, this time on merit, not just luck, so congrats there. He's got a great little run going in the 55 machine. And with 3 laps to go, separating Katie Height from her 2nd win this season. From the very back of the field, 40 positions she's gained, which realistically 35 positions she's gained, but still an incredible number to come from the back to the front. 3 laps and 6 miles to go.
Meredith for 4th.
Yeah, fighting with Zier for that position here. Zier actually it's the other way around. It's Zier fighting Meredith. So Zier on a bit of a roll here at the end. The momentum just does not quit in that number 50 camp. The late summer surge continues. Remember, even after Pocono, she had a great run, got caught up in a wreck, and then because of all the shenanigans, she ended up in the top 10 before it was all said and done. Continuing that here, has a draft on the reigning champion and is going to have a move here to the inside. Little side draft and a big slide to the inside of the 17. She's going to clear here pretty handily, but there's going to be the momentum from the 17, but she's going to go ahead and complete the slide job. Great little battle here. Two laps to go now for Katie Height. If they get the white flag, the next flag will end the race, and now it's coming out for Height, so she will get the white flag now. So this race will end under regulation. Thank God.
Henderson graphics. Katie Height getting around Blake Henderson, who's not having a great race.
Surprised he's still rolling around. He almost ended up on his lid in the infield, but
yeah.
Then had a huge impact with DJ Anderson, but he will finish this race. But coming out of turn number 4 for the 2nd time this year, Caitlin Height will come down and take the checkered flag. She's going to win the Concord Foods 200 here at Auto Club. Breo 2nd, Hagen 3rd, Zier and Meredith round out the top 5. Denny and Peach 6th and 7th, and Connor Morris, Josh Arnold, and how about Tommy Withers up 30 positions, as is Alfred Denny. He finishes in the 10th position, filling in for Gary Donaldson. Attaboy, Tommy.
All the way through.
And after a controversial race at Pocono, we come back here to have a banger at Auto Club. And a well-earned win for Katie Height from plumb last to checkered flag in victory lane. She takes her second win of the year and now ties all time as the winningest driver in HTL history alongside Dustin Hall. She's now the winningest active driver in HTL, as she was already, but now extends her lead to the rest of the competition. And makes history here on a track that she got burned on just a few months ago, now coming back and winning. And there's her teammate, Shad Swatsworth, coming out to celebrate. Not the day Swatsworth won it, only 19th place finish for him, but they may burn it down together. Your ABN winning moment. And Height will find victory lane, and we'll see if we can find her, Breo, and Hagen, and have a word with her top 3 finishers before we send it off for the post-race show. We have Breo in the waiting room now. Our second place finisher. Let's see if we can't have a word with him. Jeremy, this is Kristina and Carmen in the ABM booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Solid day today. Not quite from front row this time, but you put in the work and up 13 positions, finished P2. Great effort.
Yeah, I kind of screwed up the qualifying lap and kind of missed it a little bit. Almost plowed into the wall or spun. It was both of those at the same time. It was. I can't tell what the setup was doing at all. But halfway through the race, after I got done being involved in every wreck, I think I finally figured out what the car was doing. So it's good that we got the track position, because track position was key there at the end, and that's the only way you're probably going to be able to have a shot at the win is if you're in the top 5 on one of these restarts. And thankfully, we got a pit strategy that got us up front. But other than that, I think hell of a run, makes up for last week a little bit, but I wish we could have won it.
Yeah, really good effort. And like you said, getting involved in every wreck early on. Walk us through that one. You had cars on either side of you. You spun the car to the outside, then to the inside, and then you almost hit the wall. Then you almost got nailed by William Britton on your way down the racetrack. Did you think after all those spins and getting involved in a bunch of stuff in the mid-pack that you'd be able to rebound and finish second?
I mean, I thought that one was over the first time I spun to the left. And then the second time when I spun to the right, I was like, oh, yeah, I'm definitely done. And the third time when I caught it and then it went to the left again, I was like, all right, nobody's going to hit me. And then right at the last second, I saw that car scream by me. And I was like, oh, okay, we're good. But, yeah, I was just trying to wheel the crap out of it, trying not to wreck it as hard as I could have into the wall. And I obviously had a lot of luck because there was a lot of cars spinning there. And, again, the 64 could have creamed me there at the end, but he didn't. So a lot of luck and a decent amount of me flailing around like a moron.
Well, flailing around like a moron or not, it kept you in the race, and then you had a brilliant effort to come back and get a podium. And like you said, not the win you wanted, but a great redemption after the shenanigans at Pocono. If there's anybody you want to shout out, now would be the time to do it. If not, congrats, Jeremy, on a great effort and a great P2.
Alrighty, thank you. So first of all, gotta thank Smil Racing Designs. He puts together the best paint schemes in the business, and I love these paint schemes with the shiny numbers. These are my favorite ones so far. Plus, he finally listened to me on putting the wrap on the skirts, so that's cool. Midwest Barbecue, gotta thank them for all the support. Seth, and I know Seth had a bad race. He dropped out midway through, but thank you to him and the support that his family gives me. And thank you to 213 Simware and Steven and everybody who supports me. So thank you to everybody, and thank you guys for putting on the broadcast.
Absolutely. Well said. Thank you very much, Jeremy, and congratulations on P2.
Thank you.
That's Jeremy Braille. We'll go ahead and see if we can talk to John Hagen now, who finished P3 in tonight's race. John, this is Kristina and Carmen in the ABM booth. Got a copy?
I do. How y'all doing?
Doing pretty good. Probably not as good as you, though. Another great effort, a strong finish. It was hairy at times, but P3 not too bad from a front row start.
Yeah, I need to stop shooting myself in the foot. I was all but meatballed after that stupid incident on the front stretch, stage 1. I don't know what I was doing, but I went in, fixed the damage, took some time. Car surprisingly wasn't horrible. Something in the back end was broke that whole rest of the race. Like it was wicked loose. Like I knew like on a clean car what was loose, and I knew on that was wicked. But I guess we kept grinding. Ended up P3.
Yeah, it seemed like a very up and down day for a lot of the front runners, or a lot of the top 3 finishers here, of course. We were just talking with Jeremy about how he said he felt like he got involved at every caution that started things out, and that really wasn't too far from the truth. You had your fair share of cars coming across your nose and bumping into people. Was it just hard to control the car today, or what was the general consensus there?
I don't think it was hard to control. I mean, Auto Club's meant to be slick. It was slick. It wasn't uncontrollably slick, but I guess lack of practice shot me in the foot for this one, especially at the end of that first run. But I mean, all the other stuff that I guess I was in, I guess there was only one other when the guy came across my nose.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think I was coming up the track, but I didn't think it was hard to drive the car straight. So,
well, if that was you shooting yourself in the foot with no practice to start on the front row and finish third, then I think we might be in trouble if you get to do some practice over the week. Still a great effort for you, and obviously if there's anybody you want to shout out, now would be the time to do it.
shout out my beautiful girlfriend for sticking by me. Shout out Jacob, Stepping Stone Motorsports, JSR. Thank y'all for working with me, and thank you to y'all for throwing on this wonderful show.
Alrighty, well that'll do it for John Hagan, who gets home with another podium and a front row start. A couple of stat pads for him and a great effort. Congrats.
Thank you.
And last but not least, we'll now scoot over to your race winner, Katie Height. Kate, this is Kristina and Carmen in the ABM booth. You got a copy?
Yep, I'm right here.
Well, Miss plus 40 positions, technically plus 35. How was that run for you? Welcome to victory lane from the tail end of the field.
Right now I feel kind of sweaty a bit, but that's neither here nor there. But yeah, it was just a lot of trying to be as patient as possible during stage 1 and trying to avoid sometimes my usual bout of trouble. I was really hoping for a clean stage 3 and actually got it. So yeah, it was fun at the front, a lot of tight racing with various people throughout, but overall it was a fun race. Kind of sucks that my teammates got caught up in other incidents, but after, how last season played out here, this just feels like, redemption day, if you will.
Yeah, absolutely. A well done drive and a great effort. Obviously, you avoided the calamity today, and it was interesting to have that happen considering you had to start from the very tail end. How hard was it to work your way through traffic? It seemed like it was easy to pass, but we all know the further you get up through the field, the tougher things get.
Yeah, I sort of committed to the middle bottom runs, and depending on if I had to check up going into a corner for somebody or something, most of the time with how I was driving, I was able to clear through the center of the corner, then just come back up and out. But it was definitely harder getting up through the field because with how everybody sort of tried to run the middle to the high side, just all their momentum would just carry them, and I was always just trying to fight for inches, it felt like, when I was sort of in the mid-pack there.
Well, it was a great effort, a fantastic drive, and your second win this season, and a great rebound after the Pocono situation to come out, have a good race, and finish on top. If there's anybody you'd like to shout out, now would be the time to do it. If not, congratulations on also tying now for as the winningest driver in HTL.
Well, first off, I'd like to thank both you and Carmen for putting on the broadcast here for the series, HTL for organizing it. Also would like to thank, let me go down the list here, Callie, Alexi, I did see Hey in the chat, and Emily, and the entire list of others, and I'll be sure that by the end of the week, we can all celebrate.
Yeah, absolutely. Flight to catch soon, or drive to make. I don't remember which one you're doing, but either way, glad to see you in Victory Lane before your trip, and safe travels and congratulations.
All right, thank you much.
Those were our top 3 finishers from tonight's event, and we will quickly go through the unofficial finishing order and get some quick post-race thoughts before we wrap things up. And are we set it over for the post-race show after that?
Yes, we are. We are indeed getting ready for overtime. That is correct.
Well, there you have it. So with that being said, let's rack things up and take a quick look at our finishing order unofficially for tonight's event. I think the biggest thing to say above all else, finally, a much better show than what we had last week out. A little bit of nature healing here at the Concord Foods 200. It was Katie Height who won over Breo and Hagen. We talked to them. Zier, the late summer surge continues. Meredith, your reigning champ, having a great rebound for a top 5 as well. Alfred Denny, Hunter Peach, Connor Morse, Josh Arnold, and Tommy Withers, the top 10. Carmen?
Yeah, absolutely. A really good effort so far for the field. You know, you're looking down. Nathan Lehman, a really good result here tonight. 11th place for him. Eli Sasic just outside the top 10 and 12. Nutre, recovered for him. Was involved in that first accident. Ended up getting back to 13th position. I think that's, all things considered, a really good run for him. Blowers, not what he was looking for tonight. Qualified into the front of the field. Ended up only 14th. Cole Snyder, another one involved in an accident early on in this race. Towards the 15th place, had a Peltier Sharp. We got a couple run-ins here tonight. Elias Flores. Again, qualifying pace did not translate over very well for that ascent racing crew for the most part tonight. But William Britton ended up giving us hope a little bit for a little bit of strategy call madness there, but ended up 18th place on the lap. Not a bad effort, but he's going to end up breaking through with one of these oddball calls. He's going to end up striking gold at some point. Just not tonight, unfortunately, for him. Shad Swatsworth, involved in an accident, ended up getting back on the lead lap, but wounded in. That car was just never the same in stage 3. Chris Pendell, likewise, the same for him. Stage 3 just was a matter of damage limitation for him, but a top half finish for that 94 car.
Yeah, absolutely. And it must be said, with some of the races that William Britton was putting up last year, 18th really isn't that bad, especially when you consider how much of a gamble he took. Likewise, Pendell kind of having to put the pieces together, unfortunately for him. But Millsap and Thompson, not the days they wanted to have. Thompson really showed some prowess early on, but gotten just a couple too many incidents. Likewise with Poznanski, Estep, Sosi getting clobbered in that wreck on the back straightaway. He was definitely going to be one of the contenders up until then. Constantinu may have to answer to the stewards after this one's over for her shenanigans alongside Selena Thompson. She only ends up with a 26th place finish after a strong effort earlier on in the day. Likewise for Zach Apperson, was running up front for most of the day, ends up 3 laps down when it's all said and done. Matthew Boone, not a great day for him. Likewise for Henderson. Unforgiven Motorsports as well with Seth Wansing, more kind of like Unforgetting Motorsports. They do not want to remember that. Wansing had such a good run going, but it all fell apart for him. Josh Gaiman continues to be his own worst enemy, wrecking from the lead while battling for the lead. Ends up 31st today. Dylan McDonald in 32nd. Kevin Gibney Jr., Angel Santiago, DJ Anderson 35th, and John Adams in 36th. And then these were the drivers that failed to qualify on back through. And that will do it for us here from Auto Club. We'll get things ready to transfer over for overtime, overdrive with Carmen on ABN2. But for my services for tonight, it's coming to a close. Thank you guys so much for watching, and stay tuned for a seamless shift transition into ABN2. You don't even have to touch anything. Congratulations, Caitlin Height, on winning her second win of the season alongside Breo and Hagen on the podium. From Auto Club, I'm Kristina Ryan. She is Carmen Sienna, and we'll see you over on ABN2. Take care and have a great week, guys.